Hey, look, I made it. You don't follow my status.
Oh, no, I don't.
You don't
It's
follow
crazy,
my
by the way. I put up status, but I don't follow up.
Found one person doesn't follow my status, guys. That's why I came here to recruit him.
None of your business, Oshi. None of your business, Michael.
It's the None of Your Business podcast, hosted by Michael and
I think
Oshi.
you should just look at this camera over here and just say, welcome back, everybody, to the None of Your Business podcast. I'm here with the one and only Michael Greenfield. Go.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of None of Your Business podcast. It's your host, Moe Rabi. We have a hostile takeover. I said I want the hot seat. Well, the hot mic. He's going to be interviewed today. Do you want it that way? Should we go? Should we keep rolling?
This is your show.
Sponsored by Prime Source, the best sourcing company out there. No idea what they do, but we'll get into it. We'll ask questions. My ChatGPT to Michael Greenfield, and it kept blocking it out on my filter. So
That's great.
not sure what you got going on, bro.
That's great. That's great.
But it's unbelievable to be part of a podcast that is taking over the world by storm. You have tremendous chen, personality, and charm. I've seen it exhibited in person through the parties, through your business life. Just everything you do exudes simcha. And to have you back on our podcast once again, I mean,
I'm excited to be here.
It's exciting to have you.
I really am. Thank you, Mo.
Yes. Well, I'm ready to go.
So go ahead.
Hello, you're done.
This is your show.
You guys, when I take over the show, you're never coming back as a guest.
Good. I'm good.
All right, so we're here with Michael Greenfield. It's his last time on a None of Your Business podcast.
Okay, let's go. The first thing I want to ask you is that, first of all, Moe Rabi, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me again.
I really appreciate you being here.
Hold on, I want you to say that after the podcast.
Now give it some time.
Exactly.
We'll see what happens. I'd love to ask you, if you were to ChatGPT yourself, what do you want there to be? What was your expectation? What would be your expectation? What will show up there?
Why we hung up on this ChatGPT thing? Like we
talking
know
about
each other already. ChatGPT is like exploring things that you don't know anything about.
True, but we're talking about the audience who doesn't know you.
So
I'm
let's
saying,
talk about it.
what is the first
why
thing
become? I don't like that we're stuck in this ChatGPT world.
Okay, let's get out of it then.
Right? I think most people
you're
use
sitting
it
in the
as a
hot seat.
crutch.
Yeah.
Right? How many times have people like written speeches now that they could have written themselves and been more personable by like using ChatGPT? So I use ChatGPT personally to refine what I already wrote out, whether it's a speech, whether it's even an email, just to ensure that punctuation, grammar, it's just the etiquette is in there, whatever I'm looking for. But ultimately, most people are using ChatGPT as like a crutch to not think and process and be creative. Like, don't be that guy, Michael.
Right.
I want to take you back to our first meeting. It wasn't like a personal one-on-one meeting, but the first time I connected in your world.
Go ahead.
It was Zimmick Conference. I'm not going to remember the year, but it was around 9 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this summer, 9 years ago. And you were either the DJ or the MC with a DJ. It was your Prime Source party, the kickoff bash that everybody waits all year for. Unbelievable energy, party. You think of everything. Anybody there is having a good time. Like you could like leave the conference after that. Like you're done. And you were at the booth and you challenged the crowd. If anybody wants to break dance or do a dance off, you had cash money that you were throwing out there. Somebody pushed me. Right? I was encouraged.
Yeah.
It's not my type. To
You didn't need a lot of
public.
pushing.
Yeah. And I did some ridiculous dance. I think it was like probably only one shot in. So it was just me being me. It wasn't even like inebriation.
And in our world back then, that went viral, by the way.
It went viral and I got paid $250.
That's right.
Yo.
That's
And
right.
that was my seed money to be able to afford everything I'm wearing today.
Really?
You're an investor in my clothing line.
How much are you wearing today?
Okay, so let's get into that too if you want.
What?
You asked me this.
I'm asking you, how much are you
pregame.
wearing today?
I don't count. I have you can speak to my accountant.
Well, you don't count. Those shoes, how much those shoes cost you?
Listen, here's what I'll say about my clothing.
Oh
I
my
enjoy
God.
nice things.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not going to pretend it's all about quality, which I do think nicer clothing that costs more money generally should also include higher quality. But I like nice things. It's an expression of myself. It's a way to enjoy something that has longevity. Like I'm the guy that will look at a restaurant bill and be like, ouch, I didn't have to spend $500 at this fancy restaurant. But like if I bought something that I could wear for a full year, whether it's a winter, wear it the next year again as a sweater, that makes sense to me. That's like an ROI that I enjoy. I like things, possessions more than I like just spending money or looking at my bank account and saying, oh my God, I'm so wealthy. Like, not that I am. I'm just like, to me, it's more about quality of life, quality of things, materialism. is something I also enjoy. Yes, everything's tied into spirituality, but I think you're allowed to enjoy things in life, and clothing is one of the things that I enjoy.
What else do you spend money on?
I go on vacations.
Okay.
Again, quality of life.
Yeah.
I have a comfortable car.
What do you have?
I have a nice car.
What is it?
Whatever.
Oh my God!
They're not paying sponsorship for this. I don't want to say
sees it every day. This is what amazes me about this question. Everyone sees those shoes. They know how much it costs. Whoever knows. I'm just curious. I don't know how much these things are.
First off, maybe I'm not as comfortable because I myself am working through it.
Oh,
and
so you're living it. You put yourself in that position.
I'm working through it, and I'll tell you why I'm working through it more now, is because I have children. Can I know I have 4 kids, 3 boys and 1 girl. I have soon to be 16. This is sort of origin. Soon to be 16-year-old boy, soon to be 13 on Pesach. We had them all like in the same time, so all soon to be. Next week's my daughter's 6th birthday, and then I have a soon to be 3-year-old that was born 2 days before Pesach. So as my kids get older,
where did you go on vacation all 4 years?
As my kids get older, exactly that time of year. As my kids get older, they're more conscious and they want nice things, and they're like, "How come I can't buy this type of coat and that type of coat?" There's also more social pressure now around wearing nicer clothing. Like my kid wanted a moose knuckle coat, and I was like adamant, "You're not getting a moose knuckle coat." And I was like working through it. I'm like, "But I have a moose knuckle coat, and I have nice things, and he knows that I have nice things, and he likes nice things because he likes nice things. He also is exposed to it." But like, I think it's bad chinuch. So he's like, "Well, how come you're doing it?" I'm like, "Well, I worked for my money and I can afford it. If you want to pay for your own stuff, you can. But like, for me to give you money for something that you didn't earn or I feel is healthy for you at this point, I don't think it's something I want to spend money on." But more so, and this is the social aspect, I think and I told this to him, I said, when you come into class and you're wearing this type of clothing article or these type of sneakers that you customize with your name on it, which he has, by the way.
You fell.
It costs the same amount. Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Of course I fall. It's a constant battle. Everything with children is a negotiation, right? So you have to be willing to give a little. Otherwise, there's no negotiation. But I told him, you're creating something within your class, and now they also want it. And now they're putting pressure on their parents to buy that said item. And maybe they can't afford it, or maybe they don't want to spend that money. Maybe they don't think it's a chinuch. So like schools keep trying to push back, especially in Lakewood. I know you said on a previous podcast that you don't have any familiarity with the Lakewood world, but like anything that is a community base, I'm sure it's the same in your community. There's a certain peer pressure keeping up with the uncles, and that type of pressure affects people that maybe can't afford it or don't want to have to afford it. So I think as adults, we also have an achrayus, right? It's going into meat board culture and kiddish club culture and Tayamel culture. Like we could discuss this more in detail, but I have a lot of Torah on this.
No, I love what you're saying. I actually want to stick on this topic. I mean, I of course want structure to this conversation because someone recommended it to me.
I want to put a pin in this, and I want to get back to this because I want it to be part of a larger segment of a conversation.
Okay.
That's going to be social media driven.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to go back to the original question before I'm just going to take a drink, okay? If that's okay? You guys okay? This has been brought to you by None of Your Business podcast. If you guys want to buy this mug, we have merch coming to you soon for $9.99. Comes with a subscription.
Mo, I've heard people say in the past that you are a marketing genius. I'm going to give you that accolade simply because I've seen you at work, and you know what you just did is something that comes very naturally to you. But I feel like you also worked on that skill. So let's go with that.
We'll get it. We'll go with it as part of the.
Well, let's rewind and tell us who are you.
Let's rewind. Put that in the footage.
There's a guy on YouTube, by the way, that does everything backwards.
I know a lot of people do everything backwards. Not on purpose, though.
But then he plays it like in reverse, and it looks like everyone else is working.
It's actually very cool. All right, brief background.
Yeah.
I think it's important for context.
I'd like to know, I mean, again, I see you. I've known you for almost a decade. But, you know, it's funny because in shul, you know, I see people every single week. And you feel like you know them, but you don't really know them. You don't spend time. Just because you're screaming Shema Yisrael together doesn't mean you know the guy, right? Fair. So I always tell people, a Friday night before you run home, let's hang out for 5-10 minutes. Let's get to know each other.
I like that.
So I feel like the same thing with
you actually do that without recordings?
Can you imagine?
I will say that's something I learned from you.
Yeah.
Going back to Zimet, and I've seen you do it over the years. You'll sit down with somebody and you do like a private session with them. In the midst of chaos, like now you've evolved from the initial one was in Atlantic City, now it's in Connecticut, and you'll sit. There's like 1,000 people in the room, and you'll just sit one-on-one, lock in with that person, and be like, "Tell me your name, where you're from, give me some detail. I'm Michael. what's your name?
Yeah.
And I love it. I think it's something we've lost as an art to really just focus in on one person and like dial into that moment and like be present. I think it's very unique. I learned that from you, and I've been trying to implement that more in my life. So
I really appreciate you saying that.
Gotta learn from other
I wasn't
people.
like that. I'll be honest with you. When I first started, and I would go to a conference, I'm going to look at the camera now for those who can see me. I would talk to people, and I'd be like, "Hey, what's up? How are you? So, yeah, how many facilities do you have? Where are you from?" And I realized that
zoned in.
that quality is lost with the quantity. And if you just focus and zone in, you'll build more stronger relationships. In other words, like I'd rather build 5 strong relationships at a conference and spend 5 hours on those 5 than the same 5 hours building 1,000 relationships that mean absolutely nothing.
Yeah, so I'd love to explore that more in the third segment.
Oh, the third segment. So let's rewind, Mo.
By the way, I'm realizing. See, I'm trying to create structure.
Yeah.
If we just schmooze, we can schmooze everything.
That's what I'm saying. That's what happened.
Yeah, it just flows.
I'm actually appreciating this one-on-one. I've never ever had a one-on-one podcast before. Yeah, Ushi and I started in the beginning.
Okay.
And we did one-on-one. And we realized
nobody wants to hear about you guys every single day.
Exactly. So let's get guests, and we got guests. But the concept to have a one-on-one guest interview, and also the fact that you're sitting in my seat, which I'm appreciating. Look, I'll give up my seat to you any day of the week.
It's my pleasure.
I appreciate you being here. Let's,
I'm going to start. I'm just going to give you a little bio, let's call it.
Yeah, where are you from? Who are you?
And then we'll get into any
conversation.
parents?
What are you like? How did you grow up? What kind of
ready
world?
For this?
Yeah, please.
Holding on to your seat.
I feel like a lot of people in your community know you, and they see you on WhatsApp and on Instagram and on social media. They don't really know you. So that's why I'm excited about the first reveal of who the heck is Moe Rabi.
The man behind the man.
Yeah.
He's the man behind the mirror.
And I know you have a good voice. I know you're into fantasy football. I know you're into URA. I know you love raising children. I know you love the healthcare industry, marketing, psychology. But tell me where it all started.
All right. So it all started with my parents.
Oh boy. Tell me a little bit further.
Well, I think actually this is interesting.
Okay.
My father's British.
Okay. Ooh.
Okay. My mom's American Israeli. She grew up in Israel. I actually was born in England, London, England, and I grew up in Canada, in Toronto. Okay. So just for reference, I'm already a mutt to start. Like I'm a mixed breed of different backgrounds in that sense. Obviously within the frum world, but it's different when you grow up in different towns.
You speak multiple languages? I mean, like
I speak English. I speak in English.
You didn't learn French.
I have a Canadian accent.
Okay.
I do know Yiddish. I went to yeshivas that actually spoke in Yiddish. Taichni Yiddish. Went to share in Yiddish. We could discuss that.
Tell me more.
So my father's the oldest of 10. My mother's the oldest of 10.
Cool.
I'm the oldest of 10.
Really?
Yeah, so a lot of oldest in my family.
That's pretty cool.
My wife actually is the oldest of 8.
Okay.
So oldest married, oldest there. I grew up in Toronto, went to school in Detroit, New Jersey, Israel, back to Jersey, married a girl who resided in Lakewood, but was originally from Chicago. Her family had moved. So we have the Midwest culture as well. And so I feel like I have a diverse background as far as being within different communities within the obviously frum world that has allowed me to maybe connect with some people that are not directly connected to us within our healthcare world, within the general sense of networking. I've been told I'm a different type of Jew. Like when I'm in South Jersey schmoozing with a therapist, they feel like there's less of a disconnect between us and maybe some of the more buttoned up conservative type administrators or people that weren't as exposed, so to speak.
Right. More cultured.
Worlds. Cultured would be a word that comes to mind. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so give me more. So you said you went to
So one of the things that I did, you asked me about honing my skills.
Yeah.
Okay. So my father is a public speaker.
Oh.
Okay. I'll break down my parents for you. My father's a public speaker. He got up on a chair in front of 500 people and give a full-blown drasha on like off the cuff. And he has the accent, and it becomes heavier when he's speaking to people because he knows people will connect to it more. It's more riveting. When you say with a British accent, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what the British accent that was.
I don't know what that was, but
that was something.
It sounds a little more intellectual.
Right. So my mother, being American Israeli, is not, and just it's not her personality to work her room in that sense, like publicly. But she can then work that same room and go one-on-one and dive into who you are, get into your kishkas, and be like totally zoned in, as you mentioned. My father, it's part of being British and just his personality. He's amazing. He's an educator. He does one-on-one education. He's a Rebbe, but like.
He made money public speaking? Like people would pay him
So I'll get into that in a second. It's actually very interesting. Like his second career he's siloed into, transitioned into. But he wouldn't be able to walk around that same room and go one-on-one and like just get into your kishkas. It's just not his personality. he's an amazing educator. He helps people with their beharas. He preps them for yeshiva. Like he does all those things that would be considered like a premium educator. So he obviously does connect with kids in that sense. But he's not going to get into like the psychological makeup of who you are. My mother could do that. Shadchan, she was assistant principal. Like she's a connector. So I like to say at every family simcha, I got the best of both worlds.
Oh, nice.
Yes. But I do appreciate my upbringing in that sense because my parents gave us all tremendous amount of healthy confidence. So you speak about confidence. I think that's the most important ingredient for any kid in chinuch, in the work life.
How do you do that? How did you think your parents did that to you?
They just allowed us to feel like whatever we were doing, we were able to do. They empowered us to do so. I didn't grow up in such a structured home, actually. We were probably more freewheeling than most from families in that sense. We're like the Friday night meal you came to after your Friday night meal, hung out, drank beers, chilled. My house is somewhat of a train station. There's almost nobody that went to yeshiva in Toronto over the years that didn't end up at my house for some reason, whether it was a warm bed or a cooked meal at 2 a.m. by my mother, which is usually like a 3-course meal. Being oldest, I have 4 brothers, 5 sisters. All of them have their own network of friends. They've all come through my house. So like that is something I've always wanted to instill in my house, in my own home that I'm building still with my wife. And we have that. We have Shabbosim. We had like 25, 30 people for meals this past weekend. We really, really want to have an open house to anybody. But when I grew up, it was something that was unique to Toronto for sure. It wasn't like this proper structure type home. And I think that allowed me also to gain more knowledge and to interact with people. I've always had a thirst to interact and to learn and to like part of me being a world traveler is getting to know people. Like I was the kid going to Detroit at 17 on a train and like working the train cart to get to know people and then going to them for Shabbosim afterwards because now we were friends and I had their number. Like it was just something that came natural to me, but I also enjoyed it. Like that's the difference. You have to enjoy networking and building connections. You can't just like be in a box and be told to do it. Like, okay, check. I said hello to somebody. You're referring to a conference. Like if you're told work the room and just walk around and say hello to everybody, introduce yourself, you've made no connections. If you enjoy doing it and you got to know them and you got some personal information and you shared that and you connected, now it's real. Like so It might not happen day one, right?
Yeah, don't go into business development or sales or marketing if you can't.
You don't, right, but not just enjoy to connect. Right. I think that's a huge difference. Then I became a head counselor. I was a counselor and a head counselor. And that really allowed me to be in a public arena on a podium and get attention that I was seeking. I like to say about myself, I enjoy attention as much as the next guy. I'm just better at getting it than most.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So, and
you learned the skill. Where were you a head counselor? Where was this?
So I was in the day camps in Toronto.
Okay. And
then it evolved to Lakewood. And once I moved to Lakewood, I also think, just speaking of attention, and I think this plays into many different arenas within all parts of our community, whether you're a Rabbi, Rosh Hashiva, Askin, could get into those type of people. Yeah. But anybody that likes attention, if you're the guy by the chuppah that's in like the back row and you know you're getting called up for a kibbutz and you're doing the shuffle, I call it the kibbutz shuffle, where you're like trying to get past 15 people to get to your thing. So everybody watches you walk down and you're pretending you don't like the cover seat, so like hunched over like this. When like 10 seconds ago, you were walking like with a full arch back, right? Like, come on, we know what you're doing. But if you're the guy like embraces it, like everybody's like, okay, this guy likes it, I'll give it to him because he enjoys it and he's healthy about it, doesn't put it in our faces. People will give it to you because people are happy to give you what you want. Like doesn't have to be commerce, but they want to give you what you want as long as you're healthy about it.
Right. That's a good point, actually. I like that point. In other words, just own it. If you own it, people will love to participate in it.
Own it, be genuine about it, be down to earth about it. Like as an example, everybody says, me being an out-of-towner, but I've heard that many times, like, oh, out-of-towners are more healthy. It's not that they're more healthy. It's just they're not growing up with this like certain track in mind that they have to follow. They have some maneuverability to create their own world.
How? Well, you're touching on an interesting topic. Out-of-towners. What do you say?
Out-of-towners.
How are they?
Toronto, Chicago, LA, right? Let's go back to Lakewood, okay? Lakewood has a system. You have to fit into the system. Right, it's regimented as you would expect in any regiment. Let's take the U.S. Army or any army for that matter, right? There's uniforms, there's expectations.
Lakewood, you have U.S. Army. Okay, I get it.
No, but listen,
to an extent.
Our Rebbeim told us we're part of army, the army of Hashem, right? That was the mashkichim giving us shmuzin. You have to conform. You have to wear a white shirt, black pants, dress a certain way, look a certain way, talk a certain way, right? Shleishanos mabusham, all those things that we grew up as like foundational cornerstones to our upbringing. A lot of it has been created over time to safeguard our communities, but it wasn't always like that historically, right? We weren't as regimented or as strict about how we dressed and how we looked. And out-of-town communities, obviously they've all been indoctrinated by the more from yeshiva culture, which I support. I'm part of it. But just to understand the origins of it, they weren't all told that if you don't dress and look and have the same upbringing and same track, you can't be in our school. And they weren't told that if you wear a blue shirt, you're a blue shirt guy, so you go to that school, check. Or if your wife has this type of shaitel, check. Like everything is a checkbox now where you have to fit into a certain type of community or society, right? When I was growing up in an out-of-town community, if we didn't eat chal stam, my father said, don't trade snacks with a guy who has Dunkaroos because we don't eat Dunkaroos, it's chal stam. Right now, the guy with Dunkaroos is not in your school. Right. And it's become, like, we've taken it even further. It's like, oh, this guy's Lay's potato chips, not a high mission brand. Now it's like branding, right? Like getting into chinuch for a second here. What does that do for a kid? All that does is that his bechira point or his pushback on you is, when I wanted to go off the derech, it was, I don't know, I wanted a cheeseburger because that was the thing you weren't allowed to have. Now it's like, the guy goes off the derech, he runs to Wawa and buys himself Wise potato chips because it doesn't say Haimish extra on there. Like, oh my gosh, I'm going off the derech.
Hold on, were you at that point in your life? Is that something that...
Never.
Oh,
but my point is, the reason I wasn't like that is because I had flexibility.
You had the outlets. You
had the room.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
Did my principal call me into school, into his office and say, I think you need to get a little bigger yarmulke. And I was like, really? That's what's bothering you? Like, I'm actually doing well in your yeshiva. Like, this is what you're focused on? And then, like, fast forward 3-4 years, and I'm watching his kid barely wear yarmulke walk around. I'm like, okay, so that's the house he was brought up in. Like,
right.
This is... But the point is, like, because that's all he heard from his father. So his first thing he did when he wanted to become a cooler guy, instead of maybe buying skinnier pants from Lululemon, he went and bought a small yarmulke. Like, he's a cool guy. Like,
poor guy.
Yeah.
So you're in Lakewood now. How do you pass that along to your children then, living in a world of conformity? I'm just curious.
So one of the things I was able to do as a head counselor, going back to that, is I was able to develop my personality and my brand, so to speak, in a way that people appreciated and understood. And because I was on more of a public platform, I feel like that connected with others. And they're like, okay, this guy is not trying so hard to be a certain type of person. It's who he is, right? If it embodies who you are, and that's my point. Again, if you're an out-of-towner, and you dress a certain way, you carry yourself a certain way, you conduct yourself in a manner that's not the typical, like, conservative box, I think people appreciate that you're coming from a place of genuinity, right? So, like, I'll give you an example. We have this, like, saying, don't be judgmental. I would venture to say we're all judgmental in theory, right? The difference between a judgmental person and somebody who's expanded past that is, a judgmental person, you walk into the room, they already have, okay, this guy's this type of guy, he's dressed like this, he's wearing this type of shoe, this is how much he's making, this is where he came from, this is the school system, he isn't out of town, he's not, done. Book is closed, moving on to the next guy. I don't need to talk to this guy, right? A guy who's more open-minded will say, okay, I've been able to process that information through experience, right? I have that data, but I'm going to say, Shalom Aleichem, what's your name? Where are you from? Tell me more about you. And I'll learn. I'll be like, oh, okay, that explains. You're wearing sneakers not because you're a hairy guy from Baltimore. Sorry, Baltimore guys. It's because you just came from a road trip and you didn't have time to change before you went to the grocery store. Like, okay, but you wear typical shoes generally. So I put you in this box, or really you're a typical guy like everybody else. Not judging either one of them, but like information that we gather, we have to be able to process. And most people are unwilling to then take the next step to gather more information past the surface, right? So if you're able to connect with somebody and convey more, or they can understand where it's coming from, they'll be more open to embracing that, right? So if you're a guy who his entire life was, let's say you push the envelope a little more, like I always like to say, I'm always towing the line. I'll never cross over it, right? So if you're the guy who like wears a flashier tie and shul, right? Okay, this is the guy. He likes to express himself. He enjoys nice things. If you're the guy that like was wearing like typical conservative black and white and like a yeshivish type tie, and then all of a sudden you walk into shul with like a bright orange tie, everybody's like, midlife crisis. Hello, what's wrong with this guy? Right? It's like because that's the information you're being given.
Moskim, as they say.
Okay, so
Agreed.
in Lakewood, this is my perspective on myself. So
I don't know enough.
Okay, but I'm going to
want to keep learning more.
So it has evolved. Let's say
I know I've learned that.
Head counselor.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm a guy who's
back to where you were. You were head
right.
counselor.
So I'm just explaining the evolution here, right?
Yeah,
so if you're a head counselor, which means you're okay with the public perception of you and being in front of an audience and the judgmental or the judging that comes with that, like anything, right? Like means you're comfortable in front of an audience. You're not behind the camera, you're in front of a camera. How you doing? Full circle moment, right? So if you're able to again embrace that, so then ultimately people again will give you that respect and appreciate it. I will say though, pausing within this, I'm going to go into a Dvar Torah that I hold near and dear to me. Are we left to Dvar Torah?
Go for it.
Yeah, only like a secular audience. I should use words that will be relatable.
I don't know. Say whatever you want. Just let's explain it also as you go along. Continue.
Okay. Yeah, this is a big vart of mine. A big
way of thinking. A big point of life. Go for it.
This is like one of my core fundamental values, and
I couldn't be happier to get to this point.
And I actually have told this to one of your former guests as like when I was looking to give him certain
Musser?
Musser. No. I was giving him some confidence in his.
Okay, you're lifting him up. Okay.
Yes.
Tell us what it is.
There were two very famous people. They were brothers. Moshe and Aaron, right? Moshe Rabbeinu took us out of Egypt, brought us to Matan Torah, to Har Sinai, Mount Sinai, brought us to the Promised Land in Israel. He was the greatest leader Klal Yisrael had ever had. Went up to Shemayim, went up to the heavens, brought down the Torah, spoke face to face. It says he was the biggest Navi of all time. It also says he was the most humble person of all time. This was Moshe Rabbeinu. Aaron HaKohen, his brother, was also as great on that level. He was the first priest in Klal Yisrael. He was the Kohen Gadol, right? The dynasty of the Kohanim live on generationally and will to forever with Mashiach's coming. And both these people were sort of manhigei Klal Yisrael. They both were leaders in their own sense. When Aaron HaKohen passed away, it says Aaron HaKohen, the whole Klal Yisrael cried. Every single person was affected emotionally, deeply, and they cried. It says that. Rashi brings it out, right? Moshe Rabbeinu, the greatest leader of Klal Yisrael, took them through everything. Doesn't say that about him. Why is that?
Good question. Don't look at me for the answers.
I'll give you the answer.
Please do.
You said it.
You want it to sit.
I wanted to sit.
Simmer.
The answer is very simple. Aaron HaKohen was in a position. He wasn't the leader. He was behind the scenes. He was able to cultivate relationships. It says, Oyev Shalom, the Shalom, he ran after it, he seeked it out. He was a peacemaker, a broker of sorts. He was in a position that he was able to get people to appreciate him and love him through the acts that he did, but it was behind the scenes. He was the guy he was the guy behind the guy, right? Just tremendous. Moshe Rabbeinu was a leader. A leader has to take the mantle, has to go speak the power upon him, has to go to Kadosh Baruch and beseech on Klal Yisrael's behalf that they should be saved after an egel. He's also the person who's going to have a dasan v'aviram and a karech v'adasai, people that are going to oppose him and come after him, right? But Moshe Rabbeinu, being a leader, a true leader, understood that and he embraced it. So now diving deeper into Moshe Rabbeinu, and then I think this is going to blow your mind. This is really how I try to live my life. Moshe Rabbeinu, it says, as I mentioned, was the most humble person to ever live. The Torah writes it, and it says there will never be a more humble person than him. The Torah writes it. Who wrote the Torah from Hashem's mouth? Moshe Rabbeinu, I ask you, if I came on camera and I said, I am the most humble person to ever live. There's nobody more greater than me. Who's more humble? That's my terrible Trump impression.
Good question.
If I said that out loud, you're like, what is wrong?
Right.
How is this reconciled, right? We just circling back, like the guy in the back of the room pretending to be humble is about gaiva, right? So like, if Moshe Rabbeinu wrote the Torah, we know that he was the most humble person ever lived. He knew that about himself. How does that make sense to you?
Yeah, good question.
The answer is, and this is a famous answer, but the next part of it is really I think to be my chadash. Moshe Rabbeinu had the greatest recognition that everything he had was from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moshe Rabbeinu, yes, we know the stories growing up. He was born, his face shone. He was in a basket, that his face shone, like he was destined to be the Messiah. Probably uprooted the entire Egypt and threw all the boys into the Nile River just to ensure that there wouldn't be any mass exodus from Mitzrayim. All those things, he was destined for greatness, right? And he reached that pinnacle, but he understood that everything he had was from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, was from God, and the greatest recognition that his entire self-worth and being and all the attributes and characteristics and money that was showered on him and the priesthood and the fact that he even lived in the house of everything that he was given was all from Hashem. He spoke kivayachol, right, so to speak. He was able to. It says he was panim upon him. He spoke to Hashem, whatever that means. That means he had the greatest recognition that he's nothing. He was totally. He was an absolute nothing when it came to the greatness of God, right? So I ask you, if you have that full recognition that everything we have as people comes from Hashem and it's bestowed on us as a present, and you live your life knowing that, so you're walking around with like, okay, it's like the guy whose father is a billionaire and he gets nice things and nice clothing and he's driving around nice cars and he has maybe given 20 nursing homes to run the business, and he walks around like Moshe Fest, and you can't even get to him by a conference because he like pretends like he's so important, like he's earned anything. You've done nothing. We all look at the guy and laugh at him like, you were given it by your father. Your father was given to him by his father. Whatever the story is, even if his father is the one that like picked himself up from the bootstraps and like he made himself who he is today and he came from the streets, that's great, but you've done nothing, right? So if you carry yourself and conduct yourself in a way that you think you're greater than somebody else because you were given something, okay, so what? Yeah, I'm better looking than most people. Now what? I'm not talking about myself, but like, so God gave you that. Yeah, so it's a product of circumstance. We live in America. We're not in a third world country that's like starving and people are sending us care packages from helicopters, right? Like if you have that a recognition, you'll conduct yourself in a way that's innately humble, right? So that's why Moshe Rabbeinu was the most humble person to ever live, because he also reached the highest level of nevuah. And just tying it in a perfect bow, this is really getting into real Torah here. The first time we see the small aleph, right? Moshe Rabbeinu was introduced to the world in Parshas Shmos. The first time we see a small aleph is by Parshas Vayikra, right? And Rashi there explains the reason why it has a small aleph is because Moshe Rabbeinu was an anav. He wasn't an anav before that. The answer they give is because this, at that moment, was when he reached the pinnacle of his nevuah. So it ties in, yes, his nevuah, meaning the fact he was able to reach that level of maturity and his ruchnius to be able to speak to HaKadosh Baruch Hu at that point, that created this full picture of him being now a humble Navi that it will say, and the Torah will say, forever will be the most humble person to ever live.
Wow. Oh, look, first of all, before you continue, I just want to say, so he was, just to clarify, so at the point where he was in the highest prophecy, he was also the opposite, the most humble.
Because he had the greatest recognition.
Right. And that was the point. So therefore it was easy for him to write whatever he was writing because he's humble. It's nothing, it's not about me. God's telling me what to write. I'm writing it.
Exactly.
Good. I'm where you are.
Turning this around.
Okay.
This is my extension to the Vart. A person who's given all those attributes, and God gives them a nice voice, gives him the ability to do anything publicly or behind the scenes. He's a product of circumstance. He's given means. He has anything in his life that he's able to impart on somebody else. And he says to himself, I don't want to use it. I don't want to sing in public. I don't want to go lead the services. I don't want to stand up in front of a few hundred people and give over some knowledge that I learned and gained over the years. Anything, whatever that is, you're the exact opposite of that. You're basically saying to God, is like, I'm in control of what I have. It's not that I got it from you as a president and I have to then continue passing it on, paying it forward. No, I'm in charge of it. It's me. It's me. That it says that somebody who has a nice voice and doesn't use it, it's considered one of the worst things that he can do. That means you're basically kaviyachal spitting in God's face and saying, I got it. I'm using it for myself, but not for anybody else.
Wow.
I'm gonna tell you when I learned this lesson to start. I was around 12 years old, maybe 11 years old. I was in Toronto. My father at that point was the head of Arsameach for downtown Spadina area, Toronto. And he made a Shavuos Mesiba, or I think it's what do you call it at the end of Shavuos?
Thank God it's over party? I'm kidding.
No, Nila Sachag. He made an Nila Sachag, right? Which ties in the end of the
Thank
Chag.
God it's over party.
And he said, he's like, Mo, I want you to come. I think I was Moishi back in the day then. I became Mo in 12th grade. That was like, again, part of the head counselor stage, a counselor stage. He said, I want you to come and I want you to sing a solo. And like, that's him instilling confidence in me. And I said, I don't want to do it. I'm shy about it, believe it or not. He said, he probably thought he'd win this negotiation. He said, if you don't sing, you can't come to the party. I said, okay, I won't come. And he said to me then, I didn't really embrace it then, but it seeped in over time. He said to me exactly this thing. He said, God gave you abilities. You have a nice voice. It's not for yourself. It's to use for others. And if you're not willing to use it, you're not fully embracing what God gave you. And he said that to me then, and me and like at that age, I wasn't able to really process that. But over time, it seeped in. And no, I didn't go to the party.
You didn't go to the party?
I didn't go to the party. I was stubborn in that sense. But I learned a valuable lesson.
Wow.
Yes.
What did he want you to sing?
Probably Ana Reich Lecha, if I had to guess. He liked that song.
Let me hear you.
No, I'm on voice rest.
You're on voice rest? Really?
So I actually have been struggling with my voice for close to 2 years.
Really? Tell me.
You asked me to come in the summer on this podcast.
Yeah.
I told you then that I wasn't going to make it because I was struggling. I ended up going to speech therapy, not voice lessons.
Take us back a second. You sing? You've sung
I went
in the past?
to Dr. Peekwu.
Years ago, I'm saying, from 12 till whatever.
I davened for the Amr Shani and Kippur for many years.
Okay.
I enjoy to sing. I enjoy the attention of singing. Again, embracing it.
I love that you're owning it.
There's a joke.
I absolutely
There's a running joke that Moe Rabi can't walk by a mic without grabbing it. See that? Somehow I got into that podcast for that reason. I was just walking by. I saw this mic here. So yes, I sang for many years. I don't think I have the best voice, but I have like confidence when I sing. And specifically, I like davening for them, and I always enjoyed it. So I've like honed that skill, and I have a nice nusach that I enjoy, that hopefully other people enjoy as well. Yeah, so I did that for many years. And
nusach is just as important, by the way.
I think,
in my opinion, nusach is probably more important than the voice itself. But
I would agree.
Yeah,
you have to also know how to use your voice in the right places.
Sure.
But listen, ultimately, you're doing it for the crowd. So you're not able to connect with the crowd, and they don't enjoy it.
You have a little bit of a raspy voice,
but it's newfound.
Was it always the raspy?
No, just because I have went to Dr. Peekaboo, pretty famous guy guys go to for
Doctor
vocal. Dr. Peekaboo, most singers go to him at a certain point, whether it's a sulcus or something else like that. He said I have a sulcus, which means my vocal cords don't close fully, and so like the ear is being pushed through, and it like affects the way I speak. So I started going to speech therapy. He recommended, and I didn't take it seriously enough, like to actually, because it's not about the lesson, the one-on-ones. It's like afterwards. It's really the homework.
Like
what? Homework is the real work.
What was a speech therapy lesson for you, for example?
It's about diaphragm, how to sit properly, how to like make a muscle, how to project, how to usually like how to do these exercises, like these type of things that create like muscle memory to use the front of your mouth versus different areas that are restricting or challenging you. I never stop talking. So it's one of those things I've never allowed it to rest. Rest is very, very important. Alcohol consumption is not great. Being overweight's not great. So thank God I don't worry about any of those things. You said you could edit it out afterwards, right?
No.
Hello, my wife is a very famous photographer. She's like retired at this point.
Retired?
Retired.
Wow, good for you guys.
So I used to say this joke at family simchas, and she banned me from saying it ever again. So I'll say it on a podcast instead. So it'll live on forever.
Wow, you really love her.
I love you, Rifki. I just actually hit 17 years, January 28th.
Wow, congratulations.
Hey, look, I made it. I also had a big milestone.
What was that?
I turned 40. You're like the only person that doesn't know that. You don't follow my status.
Oh, no, I don't.
You don't follow
crazy, by the way. I put up status, but I don't follow up.
Found one person that doesn't follow my status, guys. That's why I came here to recruit him.
All right, tell us the joke. I want to hear what it is. What do you say?
Well, I get up and I say, Rifki's retired now. She's married to a very wealthy guy. I'm still trying to find him, though. I can't say that joke.
Okay, but good for you guys. Meaning she did such a good job in her career of photography.
Things evolved also in the world that she worked in, and she started getting burnt out by people. So, like,
I see.
Taking you to this is also sales related ish.
Yeah, go for it.
Or knowing people's skill set.
Yeah.
Well, it's very, very creative. Creative people are generally a little more challenged on the business side of things, right? Just two different parts of the brain. That's what I found. So, creators are successful when they have strong business partners that are a little more structured, that drive the business, almost like a restaurant. You have front of house, back house. Right?
Yeah,
you need
absolutely.
that.
I'm a big fan of that.
You need the Ushis behind the scenes. Is that his name?
No, that's Stefan.
Stefan.
Ushi needs the Stefan, is what you're saying. Yeah.
Hi, Stefan.
The Stefan.
Stefan, we really value you, just so you know. Where's HR when you need it? So she just started getting burnt out because she was doing too much, and people have evolved and changed also. Like she though like got to experience people like in the most vulnerable state, and she'd tell me like some of her experiences over time, which was very interesting to me. Like she's like, "Oh, you see this picture on Instagram? Like a smiling, beautiful family. Everybody looks so happy." She's like, "Yeah." 2 minutes before, the mother's in their car crying because the girl's outfit wasn't properly set, and like there was some makeup on her shirt. Like, calm down, people. But it also did just to her prove that it's such a fake world that we live in. And we'll get into social media off of this if you want. But like she actually for a while had this segment where she would post like a picture, let's say, of her beautiful nail polish holding a Starbucks. And she'd be like, #Starbucks, living life, blah, blah, blah. And then like you'd see the next picture that was only her thumb she had done and the rest of her nails weren't done yet. And the Starbucks cup was like some styrofoam cup that she posted from like outside her house. And she'd be like, oops, you weren't supposed to see that. And so she'd done a lot of those. She did like a whole segment of reveals around that, like beautiful tuna fish sandwich. It was like cut up, and then like she shows the kitchen like all messy with like paper plates being used instead of some fancy backdrop.
That's funny. I've done that, by the way, as well, so I resonate with
so that. She's like one of the first I found on the social media platform to do that. So I do find social media to be very, very powerful for that reason. That actually like sort of ties into who I am as a person. I would say most people that I meet have a certain perception of who I am based on social media or anything I've done in a public space.
What is that perception?
You tell me.
I mean, I know you. I'm saying, but like when someone, what's your feedback that you're getting of who you are perceived as?
I would assume, and it's also because I believe I control some of that assumption. I would assume when people meet me, confident, outgoing guy, he's just like a louder personality, loves attention. He's the guy that's the loudest guy in every room, blah, 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 rah, 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 rah. But like ultimately there's no substance past the surface. Like they just see the surface because it's like sometimes if you're being blinded, you can't like squint enough to see past the sun in your face. So sometimes when you have social media personalities, you don't connect on the deeper emotional level with them because you just either don't want to see it or it's just so loud that that's all you're hearing. So I meet people and they get to know me and we do one-on-ones and I'll get into what I've been able to do as like more of a passion project over the years and helping people. But the first thing they'll tell me after like an hour or 2 hours of time is like, oh, well, you're a pretty deep person. I didn't realize you have that vulnerability to you. Like there's a lot more to you than meets the eye. And I'm like, okay, welcome to my friends club. Now you know me. Like I'm aware of that, but it's okay. Like I put that out to the world.
So would you say the passion project is what? What is that exactly?
I have been able to. I have a passion to help small businesses and to people that don't have that guy that's going to be their cheerleader. So, small business, I've been able to use my platform, whether that's WhatsApp World or any social media experience that I've gained over time, to help them build out their businesses. Whether it's singers that I've helped get started, smaller businesses that I've helped.
Give me an example. Like what?
I'm not going to say all the names, but there's been people that
names.
started out. Comes at singer looking to make his way. I started posting his clips. I sat down with him. I built out a business portfolio or model of how he's going to be successful. Like, where's your focus? Where's the area of need in the marketplace?
Can I ask you for a little bit of help then?
Absolutely.
With this topic?
I will sit down with you.
Okay, so my son, not me, my son and my business partner's son, they're doing a kumsitz duo, and for entertaining and kumsitzes and malava malkas.
Sure.
And they happen to play drums and guitar, and they're harmonizing together. They have beautiful voices, but their challenge, of course, is where they're up to now. How do they promote themselves? How do they go to market? How do they get out there? And I'm helping them a little bit, but someone like you would be like perfect for this.
I'd be happy to help them. I've done that many different times. I also have been able to network around that to help people find jobs. I do a lot of that. Sometimes it's still, sometimes I pass them on to the next person. I think we could all do that in this industry. I'm sure you get those calls all the time. My son's looking to get into healthcare. Healthcare people. Can you help him?
Yeah.
But I actually sit down with people. I get to learn who they are, understand what their needs are, understand what their skill sets are, so I could direct them in the right place.
That's wonderful, by the way. I love that.
But I think we could do more of that as a community, and especially in the business world.
So there's two things I'm learning. Number one is there's more depth to you than just the smiling.
Well, I'm telling you that information. You have to discern that for yourself.
I know that already. I happen to know you on that level, at least because when we meet, we don't just rah-rah all the time. Although, just to clarify, because some of you may ask what we were doing in the bathroom, and I mentioned it before. Okay. So we were once at an event, and I was just in it was a very large bathroom at the suite that I had rented. And the entranceway, I was singing to myself, and I realized the acoustics in this room is phenomenal. And I'm like, Tino, Mo, Yissi, get in here. And we just all got together. We had, I think, the most amazing musical session I've ever had in my life.
To be clear, it was separate from the bathroom area. There was no issues of singing any spiritual songs.
Oh, okay. You see that your head goes there. My head doesn't even like. Yeah, okay.
I try to always
conformity, I guess. Understand
I always try to think how somebody else is going to perceive what I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't always do a great job at it.
Yeah, but by the way,
you have to do that
because you're self-conscious a lot. Also, in general, that's where it comes from.
See, you've used that word a few times.
Yeah.
Before now.
Yeah.
Self-conscious is very different than being socially aware.
Okay.
I like to say about myself.
Yeah. Don't forget what side of the camera you're on right now.
I'm the most socially aware person you're ever going to meet.
Right.
Like, okay. I control it. Like, I know when I'm being socially off, but I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
So people enjoy that too. Like, okay. I'll do something that might be a little out of the box, but like, ultimately, I'm aware of that, the fact that I'm being that way, and I'm doing that.
Okay, no, I like that. I like that. It's very, that's very nice of you to do that. So
it's not about being nice. Again, it's about being self-aware.
Okay.
It's about being conscious of what's happening around you and understanding how people are going to perceive what you're saying.
Right.
Self-conscious means that you're like living in a world where you're constantly questioning your decisions, your abilities, your confidence level.
It's not constant. Self-conscious can come and go. It doesn't have to be a constant.
Okay, so not constantly.
Yeah.
A self-conscious person.
Are you self-conscious about anything?
Of course.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
You're self-conscious. Right.
But I'm also aware of it.
You're also aware of it, right? So it's easier.
It's not easier, but it allows you to work through it and work around it at times.
I don't want to get lost on this. I was just saying, because you're a little bit more self-conscious.
I'll give you an example. I am self-conscious of my weight. My whole life I've been battling my weight up and down on a roller coaster. My wife just did, I turned 40, January 12th. And my wife, one of my 7 parties that I had.
Literally.
We can get into that.
I imagine it was 7.
No, you have to know. It was crazy. It was awesome. My friends did a roast for me. I sat on a chair and they did a full-scale roast.
Wow.
I thought it was the best party of all time. It was hilarious.
Can I get that?
You got to be able to laugh for yourself.
Yeah, of course.
So my wife had my kids go to a recording studio. They all sing beautifully. I'll either play instruments, enjoy.
That's beautiful.
Sing. Yeah. That's something I'm very thankful for. Like, I think it would really, really bother me if my kids sang off key. So my wife put together this song. And it included like the last 17 years of marriage. And so like you see the journey of the hat as it gets bigger and smaller and comes off and like that, But I watched my weight spectrum or journey of like the roller coaster ride of it. I was like, whoa. I remember those days. Thank God for Ozempic, guys.
Are you doing Ozempic?
I did it 2 years ago. It was the worst thing I ever did, but I lost a lot of weight. I had like just very weird side effects.
Why worst thing? You're saying because of the side effects, obviously, I guess.
I had weird side effects. I had like a tingling sensation on my arm to start. Then I went off of it. I had it on my back, like front, like chest. So I switched to a different strain. And then all of a sudden I got blurry vision, which was very weird. So I just like cut it off. Like, I'm done.
I mean, you look good. So what do you do?
It's the camera angles, guys.
Yeah.
A guy just said on one of our chats today, he's like, said it to me and Shimmy. He's like, I don't know what it is. You guys do a great job with the camera angles of hiding your bikes.
By the way, speaking of Shimmy, thank you, Shimmy, for recommending you.
Thank you, Shimmy J.
We really appreciate it. Shimmy's been busy doing a lot of good
Shimmy
things.
Doesn't stop.
Yeah.
I like to say, I think it's the truth. As a non-family member, I'm the only person that was by his first wedding and second wedding.
Oh, really?
That's how long we know each other.
Wow.
Our families have family history together. England, Lakewood, Toronto through his uncle.
You're speaking of
first time I met him was 11 years old, and then we became friends later on. We were actually chavrusas, Rabbi Goldblatt's yeshiva. Shout out to Rabbi Goldblatt. And we were in Israel at the same time. Like, we really have a long-standing friendship that's deep-rooted. So I have admiration and appreciation for his growth, and he's doing tremendous things for Klal Yisrael.
Your quick thoughts on what people react, because when he was on the podcast, we spoke about this a little, and there's a little bit of activity going on in the world of Shimmy J right now as well.
Okay.
Your reaction to people reacting to him giving and people seeing, like, you just wrote a nice check to this organization and that organization. So,
right. So that part that I told you, I told to Shimmy J. Well, you guys didn't figure this one out before, about the Moshe Rabbeinu factor and being a leader in a manik. If you do anything in a public arena, especially in our community, the initial reaction is for people to have a difficult time processing it and react to it in sometimes a negative way because of it. It's because we were told to be conformist and like live a certain way within that box I refer to. And so anybody that like deviates from that is an outlier. So outliers are usually shunned, right? If you go through history, most battles that we've had in different countries, not Jewish related, are because people are different than us. Color, creed, background, religion, right? Go through any religious movement, go all the way back to Roman time. It's all been because somebody just simply didn't look the same way as you. And coming back to what I said, and you instead of getting to know them or embracing them or adjusting maybe your life to be able to process that information and connect with them, we push back. So anybody that does something on a public stage will be judged, no matter what. Now, it could be you're being judged kindly, but there's a process to get there. So there's always people that are judging you, and you have to be aware of that and be okay with it, embrace it. And social media is no different. I look at social media like you're standing in front of 1,000 people, right? I will be judged for everything I say in this podcast. And all those guys that like to nitpick and everything that you say will be oh, you said this thing. And then they'll bring it back like a year later, or they'll send that little clip that you cut out because you thought it was entertaining. Right, this is going to be the clip. And then they'll use that little thing as fodder instead of like getting into the full context of it, right? So that's what we do. Anybody in a public arena will be judged. Right? And that's what that just comes with the territory. So you're either okay with it, right? You fully embrace it and you go head on, or you shy away from it and you run away from that stage.
While you're on,
there's no in between.
Yeah, I know. I get. While you're on this mode, I got to ask you.
Yeah.
You have an opportunity to give one message across to the world. What is that message?
Be yourself, embrace what God gave you, and just hone it. Just like cultivate it, grow it, nurture it, and you'll feel confident about what you're doing. Like, but stop listening to everybody else. I've told this to people in Shidduchim. I actually made a few Shidduchim myself. I tell this to people when they're looking for jobs or dealing with their employers, just to tune out the white noise. I don't know, those old TV sets, click, like that white noise. Just focus like on the actual picture in front of you.
Right. So you're from Lakewood, right? I mean, you live
Toronto
in Lakewood.
originally. You live in Jackson.
Lakewood. I mean, listen.
Yes, I'm from Lakewood. Proud to be part of Lakewood, by the way. Also.
Okay.
See, that's also a thing.
That's great.
Lakewood gets judged. Why? Because people have a perception. They don't get to know Lakewood. Lakewood's an awesome place. I am Lakewood strong, Jackson strong. because I find the beauty in these places and the people I'm around. That's also a thing. Like, be positive doesn't mean to be positive, like a movement. Like, oh, be positive. Like you're a part of a cult of being positive. No, it means embracing positivity and looking and seeking it out. Right? It says, "If there was Hashem b'simcha, serve God in happiness." Happiness to most people, if you ask them in a dictionary, it would mean a state of mind. Right? State of mind comes with a moment, a frame of you're given something, just a mindset you have in general about things that you're able to gather and be happy because of it. Meaning you're at peace with something. But ultimately, most people view it as just like a fleeting moment, right? The God tells you have to serve Him in happiness. It's like an active thing. Means you have to find happiness. How do you do that? It means, to me, the way I understand it, is that simcha is not what most people receive to be simcha. It's not because now you just had a newborn child say you are happy, you're besimcha in that moment. Serving God in happiness means to be active about it. The same way ivdu is, it's an action, right? You have to serve. An Eved goes and for his master, right? You're beseeching it. You're have activity around what you're doing. It's not just allowing yourself to just sit there and, okay, I'm going to be so happy now. No, what are you doing to make yourself happy? So the way you do that is by finding it in things, in people. It could be materialism, like we mentioned. It could be in the connections you make. It could be in your job. It could be in your family. It could be in the community you're part of, the shul you daven, or whatever that is, right? But if you're active about it, and it's an action item. It's a kum essay.
I agree with you. I think,
as opposed to state of mind, I think you'll get there.
Personally, this is what I like about Thank You Hashem, and we can get that in a minute. I'm curious your thoughts on this. The idea to me of Thank You Hashem that we're just talking about now is just when you verbalize it and you say it, it's like waking up in the morning and saying, "Thank you, God, for giving me back my soul." Right? So you're saying the words. You're waking up. The first thing you're doing when you're waking up is being thankful. So the concept that I like about Thank You Hashem is just, it's the action is the necessity that makes you, differentiates you from everyone else and puts you on that motion of doing good and recognizing. I think the first part of it is verbalizing it, saying it, right?
Go, Monique. Thank you, Jasmine.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was giving credit to the movement in terms of verbalizing the words "Thank You Hashem," which I think is important to be thankful. So that's something that I take out of it. I'm curious what your thoughts are on that.
Well, let's start from the beginning. Thank You Hashem is just an adaptation of Baruch Hashem in theory, right? Which is praising God for everything we have in our lives, and we should, right? That's why I like the MBD song, Taganach, Baruch Hashem, you know that song?
Yes, love it.
Right? So there is an idea that we should be consistently and constantly mindful and recognize, as we mentioned before, everything's from Hashem. So if you could create that as part of your second nature, and it's almost like a muscle memory at a certain point, that's great. But you have to be able to get past that. It has to be internalized. It can't just be, oh my God, let's I really don't want to get into Thank You Hashem because I have what to say.
Well, just say it. It's okay.
I love Thank You Hashem.
Okay.
I think it's an incredible organization. I love the concept. I like the idea behind it.
Okay.
I think it's a novel idea.
Okay.
I don't like anything generally that is just cult-like behavior where it doesn't connect to the people and make them change who they are and their behaviors, and they don't actually gain knowledge. It's just very, very surface. You got to be able to get past a bumper sticker. And I'm not saying the movement hasn't done that. What I'm saying is that a lot of people haven't been able to get there. Okay, so when you sing a beautiful song, and then you just this is not going to go over well, but like if you have, it's almost like religious Tourette's. That's what I call it. You just thank you, Hashem. Why are you throwing that into the song if it's not part of the lyrics? It doesn't make sense to me. It's just like you're trying to indoctrinate people to say it and think it. It's like, what are we doing? Like if you look throughout history, many different religions that were not Judaism, that's what they did. They tried just creating this indoctrination that we have to follow some cult-like behavior instead of really connecting to what we're doing, right? It goes back to basic chinuch. I actually spoke to Rabbi recently about this. I said, I want to fund a siddur, and it could be just for an answer to start, that breaks down each bracha for kids. that are 5th, 6th, 7th grade that are starting to daven, that really could understand and connect with to what they're davening for and what they're expressing to Hashem, so that when they're 15 and 20, whatever age they are now, that they're like used to davening, they're not just saying Baruch Hashem, Baruch Shema, Amen, Amen. I'm like, I sit next to those guys. They don't know what they're saying, right? So you have the few guys during Yom Kippur that have the Avodas Tefillah, the pathway to prayer, and they're sitting there for hours teaching the words for the first time in their life because they don't know simple Shemona Esrei. It's because we're not teaching people to get past the surface level of, like, almost like the nursery rhyme level of spirituality, right? So thank you Hashem, and all these other movements are amazing, but they have to be able to connect with people on a much deeper level, right? It like goes back to you're referring to my personality, right? If you're just projecting outwards and you're never taking in and listening and learning and evolving and actually becoming somebody who's introspective and growing through it, then it's just a bumper sticker.
Right, it's true,
We've
but I
reduced it down to that.
But I do want to tell you, in my opinion,
The spiritual Tourette's thing.
No,
Put that on a bumper sticker.
I like the concept of what you're saying. I want to be very clear on what I'm about to say.
Oh, I just want to say one more thing. Sorry.
Please go ahead.
And then it plays out.
Yeah.
When you're singing a song about the Baal Shem Tov, like he's your bro. It's very catchy. My kids listen to it all day. Like it's coming out of my ear. Shackle, shackle. All these, they're great. They're very talented people. But like when you have, this is gonna start a thing. When you have on the back of I'm with the Besh, baby. You're with the Baal Shem Tov. Would you ever say that about your Rebbe? That like not the Baal Shem Tov, was like the father of Hasidus. I'm with the Besh, bro. You're with the Besh. Chicken. That's what you're doing with some like DJ, and then like some horse in the background. And I'm good friends with Mr. Beta, by the way, the man behind the camera. But to me, like we've gone too far with this stuff. Like you reduced Judaism and songs and lyrics and psukim down to like this DJ set that's catchy and then they do the 2.0 version of the same thing and drop another beat in there. It's great. I love music, but like it's not just I sound very old school, like back in the day. It's more than back in the day. It means we're missing a big part of what Nagina should be.
Okay,
go ahead. Now it's all you.
No, I hear you, and I'm not disagreeing with your message. I'm just disagreeing with who you're pointing the finger at. Meaning the bumper sticker is meant to affect the person that's reading it. It's up to the person reading it or listening or singing the song to be affected by it, just as much as it's up to the person who sees you on a status or at a wedding or jumping up and down and not getting deeper. It's not up to you to get deeper for them. It's up to them to extract who you really are and what your message really means.
I can't disagree with you more strongly.
Hold on, pause.
No, I'm not pausing.
No, let me just finish my thought.
I just want to jump on this.
Yeah, go.
I don't want to get lost.
Yeah.
It absolutely is on the messenger as much as it is on the receiver. And that's the difference. That's my perspective always.
Right. Okay.
I know what I'm doing.
Right.
And how I'm projecting outwards. This idea that, don't be so judgy. No, I will judge you. You're asking me to judge you. Don't walk around with a red suit and be like, can't believe guys think that I'm an oddball. No, that's on you. That's social awareness, right? So you can't, I agree there has to be, there's a noisin and a makabel, right? There's a giver and a taker and a receiver. All that's true.
Yeah.
But this idea that it's never one-sided.
Yeah. So, okay. I'm so happy to disagree with you, by the way, just for the record.
By the way, what did I say? Hold on.
Yeah.
Let's get into this. This is yeshiva. Now we're in the yeshiva talk right now.
Yeah.
This is like Miss Medrash. I'm passionate. I'm ready to go, guys. I don't even need coffee anymore.
Go ahead.
Just getting started.
Yeah.
By the way. This is like the second game of bowling. Just let's break this down.
Yeah.
What did I say that you disagree with?
What I'm saying is that it's not a complete, if someone is giving, all right, we'll talk about the Thank You Hashem movement. Let's just talk about that specifically, okay? Yeah.
Is it possible for us to talk about a movement that's a big part of Klal Yisrael?
Yeah. That's
really going to be like a healthy discourse in which we're not trying to like dance around things that we actually think about? Like even now, I probably shared more than I should have.
I don't think it's such a thing of shared more than you should have. This is something that
people don't always have the ability to process what you're saying.
So then those...
How many movements have there really been?
Whoa. This is Jasmine here, by the way.
Security, take them out.
We utilized the fourth camera to get on Stefan, so now people can actually see what he
breaking
looks like.
The fourth wall.
So Stefan, welcome to the program, Steph. What do you have to say?
I said, how many real movements have there been in our history? Think about it. Chabad.
well, Hasidus in general.
I'm saying, but like Hasidus wasn't running around with bumper stickers.
Let me go back to what I disagree
You want me to
with,
break down Hasidus to you now?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like
We're getting in deep waters now.
Let me just clarify my position so we can either move on or just get deeper in it. I don't care.
I'm going to get into this. Like, you know what? I do want to go.
All right.
So I want you to finish.
Yeah.
This is my podcast. I want you to finish, but I want to get back to your point because I think forget about this movement as part of the conversation.
Yeah.
It just got stuck. I think it's like it's in the crossfires instead of it being a larger conversation about movements.
No problem.
We can get into that. Sure.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't have to be anything specific. I'm disagreeing with you, and I'm saying specifically that it's not on the giver. It's more on the receiver because you're making that choice as a receiver what to impact you. But when you're looking out there and you're swiping and you're going through stuff and you're saying, okay, this is interesting, this is not interesting. So a melody that connects with you, that's on you to how to connect to that message further. So in today's environment of social media, you have 3 seconds to get a person's attention. So if you get the words "Thank you Hashem" into their face, or you get the words "Baruch Hashem," or "Great to be a Jew," or "Love God," and then that it's on that receiver to then take that and see what that value is there more than that. That's my point.
So I appreciate that point, and that we could agree on. But I don't.
Let's just disagree. It's more fun. And one of the worst things.
Let's agree to disagree.
I hate that word. I hate that sentiment.
I will
let's
say,
just disagree.
I think this is important in this conversation. I think that yes, it's on a consumer to receive it and process it. However, I should be able to make informed decisions without you sneaking it in. Right, like dropping in a pill into my drink and then serving it to me, and like I'm now drinking something and I'm incoherent because you roofied me. They're roofing you, right? I'm listening to a beautiful song with words from Tehillim, and all of a sudden you snuck in your thing that you want me to hear, even if it's subconsciously. And now it's like it's playing in the back of my mind.
Subliminal positive message that will impact you.
I don't think that's
utilizing social media. That's
I think it's a sneak attack.
Okay. Let's move back to Stefan.
I think it's a sneak attack.
Okay.
And by the way, they think that too. They just think that they're doing something positive through sneaking it into your world.
Yeah, because it's a subliminal positive message. It's not.
It's not a subliminal message. Yeah. It should be past subliminality. It should also. It should impact you. Right. Thank you, Hashem.
I have to tell you, I'm enjoying this conversation more than many of the conversations I've had.
Because it's a big part of our
honestly,
world today.
It's real talk. It's exactly what people are thinking.
I like fishy, swishy, yum, yum, yum.
Yeah.
Because it's not pretending to be anything other than it is. I have an issue with whatever the words are, and then you're sneaking it in. Like, why?
Right. So I look at it differently. That's all. But
like if I'm listening to Shackle Shackle, I know it's a nursery rhyme. I'm aware of that. Again, I made a decision to listen to it, or my kid wants to listen to it. So I'm now stuck listening to it on Shuckle Shuffle for the next 45 minutes of our drive.
Your song is making impacts, baby. I'm loving it.
Conversation that we were having in the 80s about schlag rock.
Right. Exactly.
Listen, I'm old enough to remember not just the past schlag rock. He's actually a healthcare guy now. What was the rap?
Oh, Black Attitude.
Black Attitude.
Who from Black Attitude is a healthcare?
A new sound is profound. It gets around the whole town if you're down with the sound. You don't remember that?
I could sing the words with you.
All right,
Keep going.
Mitch is now a regional.
Levy?
Mitch Levy.
Mitch Levy. Are you really? I can't do his voice.
He's a regional administrator for Paramount Healthcare.
I did not know this.
He's amazing at his job.
Mitch, wow. Let's connect.
He's a rock star.
Amazing. So
he's the original.
So Josh Stryker, who was his partner, there were 3 of them. There was Mitch and Josh and what was the third guy's name? I forgot. Maybe Steph can look it up.
If you listen to Black Attitude back in the day, you might as well have listened to like Eminem and then Biggie.
But I enjoy that. I appreciate that. That's what it brings to the table. But it's those messages.
So here's really what I want to say. Okay, I hosted my son's yeshiva. 21 boys came for Shabbos.
High school
10th graders.
Okay. We
were having open dialogue after the meal.
Oh, love this.
And one of them asked you, Mo, what do you think about Thank You Hashem? So, and this is really what I should have said in presenting it to everybody. I said, it's a great movement. I said, most of the movements in Klal Yisrael were started from novel ideas. And that there's a reason for it. And it should have staying power because it represents something that's important to convey. I said, but you have to be able to get past the fluff. And it has to be a movement that has substance that people can relate to and learn from and grow with. If you don't have that, then it's just a movement that's like any other cult. And going back to the audience member here, to Stefan, right? He brings up the fact that Hasidus or any other movement that has started, that's been around in Klal Yisrael, Shalom Kabach's one of them. We could get into all the characters in Klal Yisrael over time, right? There's always been pushback to that because we are used to foundational ideas following a certain pattern, the regiment that I referred to earlier, right? We all do that. And anytime there's deviation, there's pushback to deviation, then there's a correction to the correction and overcorrection to the correction. Right? All that keeps happening. That's part of the evolution. And you have the old school guys like, you never should evolve past this. We should never have this type of music. And then like, who said we should even go to concerts during the year? Like, all these things, a halachic conversation around it, hashkafa, all that plays into the same common thread, which is we have found the foundational things, right? We have a Torah, we have Torah Shabbat, Baal Peh, and we have from there everything we learned through the Rabbanim and the courts of law, and it's continued to evolve, and all of it is within the parameters and the guidelines that were given to us from Moshe Rabbeinu. And then we have Shivim Panelo Torah, so you could have disagreements, and all that's also part of the same Torah. Everything's great, right? But it has to still have a root cause that's foundational, where it's substantive. It's a hard word to say, right? Where it's real. If it's just fluff, then it's no different than a Super Bowl commercial. That's projecting something that you should eat and then whatever. It's just a commercial.
Yeah, listen. I don't want to spend too much time on this simply because there's so many other things that I want to argue about.
Actually, a lot of people will like this conversation.
So simply because I believe that Thank You Hashem and those type of movements are doing so much quality behind the scenes that you can access if it takes you there as a receiver. You can go look at all their output that they're doing and all the music that's more meaningful and all the things that they're doing as far as get-togethers and discussions, which is amazing.
It's amazing.
So to me, it's all about the receiver. To you, it's all about the giver. That is the fundamental.
No, I didn't say that.
No?
I said it's about both.
Oh, it's about both, right. Okay, so to me,
But the receiver should have a choice to receive it. Don't sneak attack.
Let me ask you a question, Mo. What else? What
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll accept what you're saying.
Well, I love their lifestyle. I listen to their stuff. I love their life.
Yeah, no, I'm not obviously.
Love the people behind it. I think they're tremendous.
No, they're all good friends of ours. That's
awesome
not the point.
People.
But there's a certain aspect of it that I understand what you're saying.
Brother, we get into this, right? This is like part of this world too.
Yeah.
Right? Musical slichas.
Yeah.
Right. I've ranted about this on my platform. Right, the idea of like taking something we did for many, many years and now evolving it into musical slichas. If you ask a lot of old school, people, like there's no place for it.
Right.
And then you'll have guys, what do you mean in the base of Mikdash we had Shira? Like, okay, but for years we did slichas. It's a serious thing. Why are we dancing around, jumping off of the bima? Right. So my way of viewing it is somewhere in the middle. Like, I think there's a place for it. I think it's important that we have space for people to come and feel comfortable. But why do you have to promote it as a movement? Why does it have to be like, we're again, another bumper sticker. We do musical slichas. Why? Why can't you just do something normal? You want to do it, go. You want to have it comes as go, enjoy it. Your show wants to have it comes as go. You have to post it everywhere. There's to be billboards about it. You have to have live stream. Why? You want to do musical hollow with a guitar and singing the mic? I don't know if you can hear it. You got do it. I've gone to those things. I enjoyed it. Stop promoting it as like this new cult-like movement to everything we do. Like, oh my gosh, guys, I'm starting to drink out of mugs. This is the newest thing, changing the world to eco-friendly mug. Why? Why does everything have to be a movement?
Wow. Okay. Tell me how you really feel.
Tell me how I really feel. I want to talk about my status for a second.
Yeah.
Because this is something that comes out of my status.
Go ahead.
Okay, so can we talk about like business stuff? Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
let's talk
I don't
about
think
social media in the world.
The podcast is called None of Your Business. I mean,
Yeah.
I want to talk about social media in the workplace, LinkedIn, status.
Before we get there,
building a brand, connecting. Whenever you want.
No,
I just want to have that conversation though.
Let's get back to that in 60 seconds. Just give us the 60-second overview as who you are in terms of business. For those that don't know you. So you started off working in where? How did you get to where you are now? And I'm always happy to see you out there and growing. Just from a financial perspective, what's your life like, and what was it like starting? And
sure.
Just give us the 60-second version.
Okay, so my first job.
Also, it helps people when they go for their careers, and like you said, we meet a lot of people. What should I do? I'm out of school, and whatever. So, give people an idea. Those listening, what was your first job? What do you recommend to people? How did you get to where you are now? Where are you now? And how can you afford those ridiculously expensive shoes?
Xander McQueen. Okay, so to start, my father, as I mentioned, was in chinuch for most of my life.
Yeah. So you knew to get the heck away.
My father was in Kollel when I was growing up.
Okay.
So we lived in an apartment. We had 6 kids living in an apartment. And then we had 10 kids eventually. And just giving you a picture of my room, it was smaller than this room, a bunk bed with a trundle like pulled out. So we had 3 people in this small room, the same in the other room with a crib. So it was 7 at that point. And my parents were very generous. They gave me whatever I needed, but what I needed and what they were able to give me might not have always matched. And I also wasn't brought up thinking that everything is coming my way without working for it. So I was the guy at a sukkah business. I'm not like one of those sukkah business guys who like also sells Sorghum and then also do car cleanings on Facebook. I'm not that guy, but I did have a sukkah business. I made some money off of that, but the money I made, I spent on myself. I didn't ask my father for money. Then I started working in camps. My money, I was able to spend it. So like I started to develop this idea and growing up already at a younger age, so, like you want something, go get it. So I was then in Kollel, and I needed to make a parnasa to offset staying in Kollel at that point. And I got offered by a friend, Ike Schwab, Yitzi Schwab, who I know from the Brodsky's days. He had a division of Trico, which is actually part of Marquee now, or always was, but they were the real estate arm of Marquee. He offered me to go around the entire state of New Jersey, review houses, like a rating system, and then go to these auctions and bid on the houses. I knew nothing about the houses.
Sounds like fun.
We're just giving you like the full picture of it. We didn't have, it was right past MapQuest, like the next iteration, which was Garmin's. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
The GPS system.
Some of you guys don't know the GPS systems that you're not using on your phone. But I had to, let's say, review 100 houses in Saddlebrook, New Jersey. I had to put like my final destination and put each location in, and I couldn't figure out a way to toggle it so that it was optimized. So I had to try to figure it out. And then if I got one glitch, the whole thing blew up and I had to start all over again. I had to put in every single address, like hours of work just to prep, to drive around and to go these tax sales. So that was like a part-time job. Baruch Hashem allowed me to stay in Kollel for a little longer. And then I started to look, and this is actually an interesting story, but being that I used to daven for the Amid, a cousin of mine came over to me in like a grocery store. He's like, Mo, are you looking? Like, I'm in between taking a job to daven, about to be open. He's like, there's a place in Cleveland or Ohio, he said, they'll pay you $10,000 to fly down and daven Rosh Hashanah for the Amid. I'm like, whoa, that's a lot of money. Okay, that was the end of the conversation. I totally forgot about it. I meet him like a week before Rosh Hashanah. He's like, Mo, you never followed up with me. I'm like, oh, I thought you were following up with me. I can't believe I forgot about it. Right? So being in the high holiday spirit, I said to myself, as I should say even today, everything comes from God. And if it wasn't meant to be, clearly it wasn't meant to be. So that was it. And instead, I took a Vasikin job, which means much earlier than usually people daven. So we started like 5 in the morning, whatever it was. We were done by 10:15. And so as I'm walking by my father-in-law's synagogue, his shul, I decided to do the Shalom Aleichem round, work in the room. I network always wherever I am, even in shul, and also rubbing in their faces that I was done and they had 4 more hours of davening. So I'm working around the room.
Why can't you just daven like it was meant to be in the olden days, when you
starting a movement, guys.
Yeah.
Network and shul.
Exactly. It's early davening.
So by the way, Vasikin guys are a movement.
And that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Everything people do, they think, right? I always laugh about these guys. I've been on diets, right? I hear this guy talking about Kiddush, giving us speeches about his coach said he should eat this and this type of food and go on walks, intermittent fasting, all these Torahs. The guy has a whole Bible on his diet. And all I'm thinking to myself is, you lost weight like 2 weeks ago. Okay, I'm so happy for you. You fit into your new suit that you just customized. I know it's 6 months. You're going to be fat again. How about wait 6 months to start promoting your diet?
2 years.
Okay?
2 years is my rule. You can't talk about anything. Yoga, vegetarian, new diet.
I literally was sitting by this guy's sukkah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say where it was. I don't want him to know that I'm talking about him. I'm talking about you. He gave us his whole Torah. He's fatter than he was then. Because everybody, if they're doing it, they need everybody to know about it, which, by the way, comes from a good place.
Yeah.
Because you want to promote good behavior. You want people to know.
It is annoying at the
secret,
Kiddush.
But yes, because we, the receiver, don't appreciate you preaching to us.
As a receiver, I would tune out. I would go away, go to another Kiddush.
I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about?
You were saying Shalom Aleichem when you're walking into the shuls.
I'm walking around the shul. I say, get onto to everybody. I got a call 3 days later. Guy says, my boss doesn't daven in the shul anymore. He moved out of the neighborhood. His father-in-law lives in the neighborhood. He loves this shul. So he came back to daven Rosh Hashanah, and he saw you walking around, and he remembered that his son had actually been a camper when you were a counselor. We have an open position for Ocean Home Health. It's a sales position. He thinks you'd be great for this job. Can you come in and interview?
Wow, so you were recruited.
I was recruited from a Rosh Hashanah that I had no business being by because I could have been in Cleveland.
Wow.
I randomly walked into the shul, not so random. Hashem put me in that place. I worked the room. This guy, by the way, I tracked it. He never came back to daven the Rosh Hashanah again because he's now established in this community that he moved to.
It was
the last time he davened there.
So you're saying it was really good?
It's always God.
I'm joking. I'm saying.
I will say this though. I've told this to people.
Yeah.
When you sit and learn in Kailul, you don't always see the Yad Hashem. You don't always see God's hand.
Right.
When you're in sales, when you're in the workplace, when you're networking, when you're in that world, if you're not seeing God, you're a terrible sales guy. That's what I would say. Okay, think about that for a second.
It's a good one.
Right. It's true though.
It's a good one.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he offered me to interview for the job. I pretty much got the job as part of the interview.
Amazing.
Worked out. So I have to give credit to Hoodie Alter. He actually been with me in the Troy Yeshiva, so he knew me. He actually called on Josh Parnas's behalf, who was my boss at that point. Jonah Kalbach, his father-in-law, they started this company. They're actually part of Adapt Health, which is a national traded company. I'm not saying you should invest though. So that was my first foray into healthcare, actually. So I was a sales rep in New Jersey, Camden, Gloucester, and Burlington County. We sold DME, which is durable medical equipment. Just to show you, sometimes people take jobs they know nothing about. First week, I'm getting trained in by the previous person. They took over his territory. His name is Hillel Brol, also very successful healthcare guy.
Hillel Brol, what's up, Hillel?
King of Kings, gem of gems.
Wow.
He's driving around with me. He's like, says something like DME. I'm like, what's DME? He's like, the thing you're selling? I'm like, oh, that's great. I thought it was wheelchairs. He's like, yeah, durable medical equipment. So
you couldn't pick a better mentor, though. So
I sold canes, walkers, wheelchairs, hospital bed, CPAP, BiPAP, nebulizer, trach, enteral oxygen. If you can name it, we got it with Medicare. Boom. So I built relationships.
Yeah. Which is essentially what you did in sales, is you built relationships.
Built relationships because that's what sales is.
Yeah.
I networked, and I was different than most of my fellow salespeople in a sense where I never looked at the point of contact as my only person I should build a relationship with. So
wow.
If you are selling to a PTOT gym,
genius stuff,
doesn't mean you shouldn't be friends with
tune in
a DON, a social worker, administrator, ownership. I built out those relationships. Now I enjoy doing it, so I definitely seeked it out more. And again, as we've discussed, naturally over my lifetime, I've been able to hone that skill because I enjoy it. But I always felt that there was added value to having those networks.
I got to triple down on what you just said.
Sure.
Because I doubled down by saying it, but I'm going to triple down by saying that if you're in sales and you're going to solicit a potential client, and you're not stopping by the receptionist, and you're not saying hello to the administrator and going to the food service person, and you're just doing yourself a disservice, you might as well not go into the business.
Exactly.
You have to build that network from within. And it's genius on your part what you were doing. Not everyone does this, and people are successful doing sales. But what makes you, what sets you apart is in the relationships that you're building within that community, which is
right. And I'll take it a step further and just the networking factor and building a relationship within a network.
Because in your business, it was about who's bringing a better cookie or a better muffin or a better, right? So
I'll give you an example. Okay. As I mentioned, I try to find people jobs and they call me all the time, and Baruch Hashem, we've been successful because there's a lot of opportunity out there. So if a guy's looking for a job, don't just reach out to me. Reach out to your network of people through shuls, through community. There's people looking for talented people, right? On a side note, this is like just total side note. I still remember Josh Parnas. He once, he's like, where are all these guys that are so talented that keep saying they need jobs? I can't find them anywhere. Like I'm trying to find somebody. I was like, because really talented, active people that you want to hire have jobs, because that's the type of person they are. That's their temperament, to find something. Right. So that's why there's the whole poaching world that exists. But
I have to.
My point is that doesn't mean you can ever, a person not out of a job. There's always circumstance. My point is, if a person's out of a job, you should hustle. Like find a way to get out there, put yourself out there, reach out.
But also, I just want to mention, also find your talent, which is not an easy thing to do.
Absolutely.
What you're saying is those people that have the talent, they know their talent.
Yes.
Finding your talent is not so simple. You should take some tests. You should speak to coaches. You should speak to the local people in the communities, leaders, and there's always somebody who's giving guidance.
Right. And I actually, so just on that note, one of the lessons I learned, we got lost our way here. One of the lessons I learned from working with a sales team, and I actually, this is part of what I've done on the side. I actually do engagements. I speak at retreats. I've done that, company building seminars and speeches. I do MC work as well for parties sometimes, public speaking, all those things tied together. But I spoke to an entire room full of 450 people. And this is, I gave them this one little nugget that I thought was so important for them to understand. There's prototypical jump off the page salespeople, right? And we all put those people like in sales category. Then there's the in between. And like you're saying, you're trying to find your way. What am I good at? What am I talented with? And you're also told by others, like it's dictated to us. Like you take an aptitude test or one of those nice tests online, and like they tell you what you are and who you are instead of you knowing who you are and you trying to like forge ahead and see if that could work for you and how that talent plays out in the workplace, right? So what I was trying to impart was one of the most important things I learned in Ocean Home Health was I worked with a team of people. And if I sat you in that same room and you gave them all those same tests, you would say, not such a good sales guy. Doesn't have what it takes. He should probably work in a cubicle. This guy's he doesn't have the temperament or the ability to connect with others. He doesn't seem as social as he should be. All those things that we tell people they shouldn't be salespeople because of, these guys thrive. And some of them are more successful because you want to know what I learned? The guy who maybe wasn't as personable was very reliable, and he was very yuckish, right? He was on time. And if he told somebody it's going to happen, it happened, and he delivered on that promise. And so maybe he wasn't the best schmoozer, and they didn't tell him about the Broadway show they went to yesterday when you met with them and you dropped them a cookie, but they felt confident in the fact that you were selling something you were delivering on, right? And I saw that within so many different salespeople, and I see it every single day. Don't be boxed into what people tell you you're good at. Don't sit with a headhunter who tells you, oh, you have this skill set, do this. Now, it is important to understand where to what lane you should follow if you feel you could gain success from that lane, right? So a questionnaire is important. Like, okay, what do you enjoy to do? What do you think you're good at? What are some of your experiences lent you to be able to do in the future? Like, what have you learned over time? Obviously there's a certain ingredient or formula that you need, but like, I think we fall into this trap many, many times.
Yeah. I feel like you identify a lot of traps in this world, and it's good to talk about it.
I could think about things,
but which is great.
I became director of marketing, and besides for being a salesperson, sales executive, whatever title they gave me then. And then out of the blue, well, the company evolved and things changed, and I was sort of listening, but not seeking out a new opportunity. They sold, the things changed, structure, corporate, that we've all been through those different experiences. I got a call from an administrator, happens to be a cousin of mine. He said, I got a call from a lady. Could she reach out to you? She's looking to employ somebody of your caliber or whatever. So I said, sure. So I took the call. She said, hi, my name is Lisa Rosenfeld. This is a position I'm offering. I'm looking for somebody really talented, confident, good-looking, charming, with a network.
And you said, sorry.
I said, sorry, that guy's not available, but I'm listening. I think she said humble too.
Yeah.
And then
shout out to Lisa.
So Lisa and I met with her husband, Aaron Rosenfeld. I still remember she's like, we're looking to, already we got into the finances on the call, which is unique. Usually like sit down with the guy. She's like, asked me what I'm trying to make and this and that. And I said, what are you trying to accomplish? She's like, I'm trying to hire a COO to do this and that. I said, great. I said, she's like, what do you think you want to make? I gave them a number. And they're like, whoa, that's more than we're expecting to pay. I said, that's okay. I said, this is what I'm worth. If you're looking to hire somebody with experience that's able to accomplish what you're setting out to accomplish, I'm worth that. If you want somebody younger, less experienced, you want to pay less, and he grows into the position, that's also great. Sometimes even on a phone call, you hear that like click. I'm like, I got like little hook. And she's like, you know what? Why don't we meet in person? I was like, great. So we met on Xmas, December 25th, and because I was off of work, and then we actually signed the contract on January 1st, New Year's. And yeah, almost 9 years I started working. I was the COO of the company. My task at that point was to be Lisa Rosenfeld. Lisa really had built out a company, not going through the whole history. She had around 38 homes at that point. She was servicing for psychology and psychiatry services. We ended up focusing more on psychology over some time. And I was doing cold calls. I was recruiting. I was putting out the Indeed postings. I was meeting with them in Starbucks around the world, in the state of New Jersey at that point. Sometimes some Dunkin' Donuts. I was interviewing them, hiring them, building out the caseloads. We didn't even have the EHR then, electronic health record system. So I was faxing over face sheets that I printed out to get eligibility access, building out caseloads, placing the clinicians. And then over that same year, we didn't have a logo. I developed a logo with a friend of mine, Mr. Weissman. I gave him like the sketch. He created it. That's the logo you'll see today. We through Skycare Media, I believe Judah Gutwine, probably a friend of yours as well.
Love Judah. Shout out to Judah.
He built our website.
He has his CEU
conference
coming up.
I will be there.
Which I may not be able to be there, but
I'll be there on your behalf.
Yeah, but please be there on my behalf. You want to run the podcast?
Judah, you couldn't afford this guy.
You want to be a host of the podcast at the CEU event?
So website, developed that out, and I was doing the day-to-day operations at that point. I want to teach you a lesson here, though. Everything that you could expect of an operator, spreadsheets, which clinicians to go where. We kept growing. I then converted all the paper documentation to EHR in that same first year. So logo, software, everything we were doing marketing material wise, started going to conferences. We'd never been to conferences at the booth, started doing that. So we had 38 homes when I started. And then by year end, I brought on another 25. Okay.
Wow.
So in that first year, I was doing things that it just wasn't who I was. Like, it wasn't who I am. Like, operational stuff that was killing me. Like, I wanted to cry at times. I was like, I'm sitting there, like, in the nitty gritty, like, boxed in. I want to get out there, connect, sell, business develop, all of the things that I feel are more aligned with my skill set that Hashem gave me. So, yeah, year end, she's like, I think you're more suited for like a CMO position. We're going to bring on an operator, brought on a VP of operations. We were building out, so then we brought it in-house. We continued to grow, like 45 the next year and 75 next year. We don't count at a certain point. And Baruch Hashem, we grew to a point where we decided we were going to, it's a lot of information I'm giving out. We decided we were going to look for an exit. We're a financial investor. We started meeting with different groups, and we had an investment group out of Manhattan that bought our company. I stayed on with the group, and then we brokered to bring on psychiatry. So now we do psychology and psychiatry services in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, continuing to grow into other states that we're licensed in already. And yeah, it's been almost 9 years of just growing, service around 850 homes currently, doing psychology, psychiatry, so behavioral services. And it's been a tremendous ride.
Well, that's amazing, by the way. Kudos to you of grinding it out and understanding that, building the systems is so important before you can go out and sell it. And you were grinding it out with them, and also knowing, your strengths and someone to pick up on that. It's really amazing. Love that story. Curious what you learned about the healthcare industry in general as a whole, if you can, wrap that story up in a bow, and let's go back to the social media and we'll end with that. So
sure. I also wanted to say one more thing.
Yeah. You could interject anything else in between.
I lost my track on this, but I was telling you, somebody once called me. I was referencing the fact that we could help people find jobs.
Yeah.
So a guy once called me, and I actually put this on a LinkedIn post once, so you can find it there. The guy called me. I said, "Tell me a little about yourself." He's like, "I'm an amazing sales guy." I said, "Whoa, that's awesome." I said, "What does that mean?" He's like, "I could sell you the Brooklyn Bridge tomorrow." I said, "You can. You are a tremendous salesperson." I said, "But you do realize you're going to sell me the Brooklyn Bridge. I'm going to show up there, and they're going to be like, it's not your bridge. You couldn't buy it. It's not for sale. You didn't own it to sell it to me." And then you'll call me 2 weeks later and be like, "I want to sell you the Williamsburg Bridge." I'll be like, "Lose my number. I will never talk to you again in your life." I said, being a salesperson is recognizing that you don't have to make the sale the first time you meet somebody. Don't sell them Brooklyn Bridge, right? If I called him up and I said, "I want to buy the Brooklyn Bridge," what he should say to me is, "Mo, it's not for sale. But if you want to buy a bridge, I am going to be your guy to find you that bridge for sale. It might be in a different country. but I'll build you a bridge. Whatever you want, let's figure it out together. But I'm not going to sell you something that I can't produce, right? And that's, to me, going into healthcare and into sales is understanding that it takes time to develop relationships, right? You're referring to like going around and going to get, build other relationships even within a nursing home that's past your decision maker, right? It's understanding that it takes time. I've said this many, many times on different platforms. You're not going to go into a Starbucks, see a good-looking person there, a good-looking woman or male, whatever you're looking for, and just get down on one knee and propose, right? Like start with maybe trying to like initiate a conversation, maybe get that person's number, take them out for a cup of coffee. You're already there, pay for their coffee, like build a relationship. Like don't ask for marriage on day one. They'll never talk to you again. Like people in sales by nature, right? The people we're talking about that are tick the box salespeople, they're hungry. They want to connect. They want to sell. They're go guys, which is great. You need that. You need that motor, but you also have to be able to dial it back. It will surprise you to know I've had to dial it back. Like I learned that if I'm in a room with people and they're viewing me, again, that's being conscious of how people actually being self-aware how people view you. If you're that slick sales guy who has the best pitch, who's working the room and making the joke, at a certain point, you have to also recognize they might be a little weary. They might like feel like this guy's too good to be true, right? Like the smiley people that walk around, like everything's happy. You're like, oh, this guy's struggling, right? Like just be normal, laugh at a joke, smile when it's normal. Like don't be a bumper sticker. Don't be a walking bumper sticker. You hear me?
That's the title of this podcast.
Don't be a walking bumper sticker.
I like the idea of being self-aware, not being hung up on being self-conscious. I accept that.
You'd be surprised if you're vulnerable in a sales meeting, you actually mess up a little. People actually listen to you. Like when you make mistakes, people actually they tune in, and you're so slick and perfect, and you're like robotic, and then you're AI. You're not a person.
Right. I guess that's the thing that we can bring to the table is that personality, that relationship, in an AI world, which takes me into that world of social media, which we were talking about earlier. So I'm curious.
And I didn't answer your question about what we can learn from healthcare. We could get back into that.
No, answer that question first. Go ahead.
What we can learn from healthcare is that
what you've learned from healthcare.
What I've learned from healthcare is that there are amazing people in healthcare. They all pretty much started because they wanted to make a difference. They wanted to help geriatrics, pediatrics, whatever field you're in. They thought they can make a difference, right? And you're working with people that are of a high level of just caring, innately caring for somebody else. If you're a nurse, you're a social worker, administrator, you did it not for the fanfare. You started because you wanted to make a difference. Then at a certain point, you realize, well, I can make a difference, but I also have to make some money to live, right? That happened later on for most people. Even if you're a vendor, you thought you could sell a product or a service or do something to make a difference and impact somebody else's life, outcomes, whether it's for residents, for families, the full spectrum and the full gamut of services, whatever that might be. Ultimately, you started because you wanted to do something good.
I disagree.
Whoa. I was about to say chazak, well said, to be honest with you.
I believe that they're for sure doing it to make money.
Okay.
Not everybody.
So I have somebody from the Are you still on camera?
So you sure you want to be on camera for this?
It's okay. I'll take it.
Now, I think where the disagreement's stemming from is once you get past a certain level, okay, so let's take the young eager nurse that started or the young eager administrator or whatever that is. I don't want to
What about all the guys that are doing ABA?
Let me talk for a second.
I'm sorry. I want to get into it.
He shut his mic off. This is my podcast. I'll do the talking here. I think, listen, like anything else, there's no perfect person and there's no society or community or industry that's perfect. What I want to say, though, is healthcare people are innately good. They wanted to do good and they wanted to make a difference, right? There are people that are hungry to make money around it. There are people that got blinded over time. Like I'm saying, you could evolve to a point where now it's only about the money because you're like, I can't just care for people and not be able to live. And you maybe get like stuck in this vortex of wanting to make more money. And now you get past the roots of who we are, like in our childhood. Like it happens to a lot of people, right? Go 1 second before you jump on me. I also believe that most kids are good people. Human beings are good people. We're not born evil, right? I don't want to get to like famous dictators in the world, but even I would think that if you took that same person and a product of nurture and nature and the whole debate about that. People generally are good, right? God gave us, it says in the Torah, gave us the ability to do good or bad. And he said, choose good, because sometimes it is hard to choose good. But we have that choice. Everybody has a freedom of choice, which means, again, the root of who we are, fundamentally, we're good people, right? So you take kids, and then they have trauma, bad upbringing, school system, community, right? We know the whole know the whole thing of this, right? And it like piles on, and they sometimes forget that they were good people. Somebody unfortunately a bad thing happened to them, and it disconnected their wiring system, and now maybe they're hardwired a different way. That's fine, right? But again, you ask a person out of college, you ask a person out of nursing school, why are they doing this? Nobody's going to tell you they're doing it to make money. They didn't start. That's the child, the stage of their life, right? That's I think elementary.
I think what Stefan is referring to when a young person going into business says, "Oh, what business should I go into? Oh, let me be a nursing home owner." There are people that think like that. Or let me own an ABA therapy company when they don't even know what ABA stands for.
That's exactly what I was trying to
Right. But I don't think that's a majority at all. I think it's what you were saying is that it's majority, it's very minority.
I think that the old school nursing home owners, operators, they fit into that box that you're talking about.
Okay.
The new guys today, they're thinking fast money. They're thinking fast cars, fast planes.
Okay.
Very few.
So, you know what? I'm happy you're bringing this up. I'm happy you're bringing this up. Okay. And we'll get into that. But I think it's taking it a step back, and it goes back to one of our original conversations. It goes back to community culture, meat board culture, Tayamet culture, fast cars and money and private jets, everything that we have promoted or exposed our children and our young, eager to start working adults, newlyweds, we've exposed them to it, and we've made it the norm, or we've convinced them that this is what life should look like for them. And so now they're chasing a dream that we created and a picture that we put out. And we said, this is what your life should look like, when, to your point, 20 years ago, that life looked very, very different, right? To quote Jerry Seinfeld, I heard him say this on a podcast. I didn't know there was other podcasts out there.
Thank you. Yeah.
But he said, like, back in the day, in like the 70s or whatever, 80s, the goal wasn't to be the richest guy in the world. It was just to like live your life and have some nice things. You wanted to be able to go to the bungalows or have a nicer convertible car. But like there was no drive to be the wealthiest guy in every room and to be the richest person on Forbes magazine's list. Like, it's just not who we were. We've lost our way, right? Those are the facts. So yes, if you want to take today's society of working or eager to work guys and girls and looking for a job, they think to themselves, I need to make, I don't know, $500,000 just to start. It's going to sound like a crazy number, like $500,000 just to be part of a world that I could go on vacation with my families, midwinter vacation, Sukkot, maybe fly to Israel, have nicer cars. You want to be able to go to the mountains in the summer. Like, it became like baseline normal things. So yeah, we've created this idea that your starting point now from used to be 75,000 or 36,000. My first job I made 26,000, and that same job I'm referring to, just driving around, I think it was 26. Maybe after taxes. Like, yeah, that was like a normal starting point. Now I get calls from guys like, I need 75,000 plus commission plus driving. I'm like, you're coming out of BMG. You've done nothing. You think because you worked in that same camp that I worked in, I should give you $75,000? But like in their world, it's like I can't even breathe if I don't make that money to like just start, right? So yeah, we've created a culture, and the young money guys, the hard money guys, MCA guys, the nursing home guys, all these guys, everybody looks like, oh, this guy's killing it. He's crushing it. First of all, I'm here to tell you, a lot of them aren't. I know that for a fact. A lot of them are struggling. Don't get excited by the shiny things that they're presenting to you. However, after saying all that, so maybe their starting point is different because it didn't start in the workplace, but they are still good people that wanted to do good things, and they want to make money because they also tell themselves they wanted to give tzedakah, and they want to be able to build shuls and schools and have their names on things that they think are going to make a difference to the world. Most people, again, have good intentions in mind, right? We just lose our way, and that's where movements come from. That's where culture matters. That's where responsibility matters to that same community.
Got it.
So tying you back,
Yeah.
you asked me about the way a person dresses
Yeah.
and the way their kids view that, and the way community looks at that. There's social pressures that are caused by doing all these things. So now tying you back into social media, right? So I personally view social media as a very powerful tool for myself to express who I am, to connect with people. I'll give you an example. I'm one of the first WhatsApp status guys.
Whoa, you're taking that title?
It's the truth. I've always been ahead of the curve with social media. I'm also, I would assume, one of the more original LinkedIn poster guys who like posted about themselves. And I was like out there. I was part of all those LinkedIn committee things and all those chats that you were part of, whatever.
Continue.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. We'll give you that accolade. It's all
No problem.
Yeah, the OG of status.
I looked at status.
Moe Rabi is the OG of statuses. Got it.
My kids even hear about it in school.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is my evolution, my journey within the status.
Yes, please.
Because today I'm much quieter and people always ask me about it. So I view status as a very powerful tool to connect and build a network, a web, so to speak. And if I meet you at Zimmer conference and you take my number and now you're following me, right? You're seeing the friends that I have that you have. Typical networking. I've gone somewhere to a restaurant. I promoted that restaurant. You're like, Mo, I'm coming into Lakewood. Which steakhouse? I saw you posted that picture. You're connecting with me. Or even if you're one of those bathroom status guys, you just sit on the toilet and scroll through everybody's status and just enjoy through their lens.
I love
the
when
world.
People tell me, I love your stat. I love sitting in the bathroom.
The guys will tell me, I live vicariously through you. I stopped going to Simchas. You post everybody else Simcha. I was there. I know about it.
Poor guy.
The point is, 6 months later, I meet you, Michael. And you're like, hey, Mo, how you doing? We're friends at this point. You know who I am. We've responded to some of the things I've posted. We have a connection at this point. Or even if you didn't say a word to me, you have familiarity to a point that now we're at the 5th conversation we've had, as opposed to that initial conversation of, hi, I'm Moe Rabi. Can I talk to you for a minute? It's like we're friends at this point, right? So I looked at it as very valuable. Now,
if you're putting out good content.
Now, exactly. Now, I will say this. Not everybody should have a platform, okay? And not everybody's personality translates on camera. And not everybody has the fortitude and the foresight and the insight and introspective capabilities to understand that what they put out, be socially aware of what they put out, how it's being received, right? So you have to be able to work through it. You have to be calculated, right? And I say this to people even like early on LinkedIn. Mo, what should I post on LinkedIn? Can you help my business out? I see you guys are successful posting. And I say to them, not every business, every person has the ability to post the same way somebody else does, right? You might have a product, you might have a company, you might have a bigger personality, so make it more about you, right? You have to be able to tailor to the audience, but you also have to be a giver and be aware of the receiver, how they're receiving that, okay? It all ties together. So now, social media to me has always been a very valuable tool because I network and I build relationships. So that slow relationship I'm referring to, right? If that girl in Starbucks just followed my status, and then I met her 6 months later in Starbucks, and I didn't get her number, she might be more open to taking my number at this point, or she'll be like, no way, I'm not talking to this guy, right? But at least she knows you. You've broken the ice, which is like the most challenging thing to start a sale. Like, break the ice. Now let's talk. So as it's evolved, I've also followed the status world. So when I started, there were very few people that posted status. So it was interesting to them. Also, my personality translated. People enjoyed it. They felt that I was being authentic about what I posted. They saw my vulnerabilities. I posted my family, some of my vacations, some of my pitfalls, some of my challenges, some of the no's I got in sales. People liked it. And it wasn't as calculated. Like, let me find that one note to post so people should know that I'm also vulnerable. Like my wife's, like going back to my wife, like showing the messy kitchen, like that you just messed up so that people should think you're relatable. Oh my God, you're so relatable. You also have dirty dishes in your kitchen? No. Show something you actually messed up on and be vulnerable about it, right? But then I started recognizing that society, now that they're so tied into social media, and I'm as guilty of it as the next person, it created anxiety. It creates real anxiety. People are looking at you going on vacation with your family and they can't afford it. People are looking at the meat board you keep posting and saying, I can't afford $250 on a meat board. People are seeing the parties you're invited to that they're not invited to. People just see you living your life in a way that they want to but can't. Whether it's circumstance, ability, personality, whatever that is. Why am I going to be that person to make somebody else feel like woe to me, I can't afford, and now I'm like depressed about it almost, right? That's one part of it. Secondly, going back full picture again, you're also creating a new society norm, right? Those movements I'm referring to, not all those movements are plastered, right? It's just slowly creeps into our society where now the new norm is to act a certain way and to dress a certain way, right? I'm going to give you an example. Nabach. A kid killed somebody. He drank and drove and drive, right? There was a whole movement that was created around it. And I myself am part of that. Like, don't drink and drive, all that, right? And it should be promoted, and it should be educated, and our kids should know about it, and organizations should know about it. I get into this whole speech about it. I don't want to get caught up in it. But what I realized is that I myself was guilty of it. I was going to parties. One of my taglines was "Chaim, Chaim, Chaim." That's like my original status tagline. I like to drink and I like to party, and I'm by parties, so we're making l'chaims. And then I realized that I'm promoting others to drink, even if it's not on purpose. Okay, and to take it even deeper, I then posted something about, after this whole story happened, I posted something like, I want you guys to know I am taking this as a lesson to learn from. I don't drink and drive anymore. I pay for a driver, I take an Uber. My wife drives me all the time because she goes out in the snow and the cold. She's like, Mo, I'm taking you to the wedding, get a ride back. I don't want you drinking and driving. I posted something like that on my status, and this kid, the Nebuch was under house arrest, awaiting sentencing, responded to it. I'm like, didn't even know the guy follows my status. This guy's been following my status that I drink and then sometimes drive afterwards at that point. Right? Might have been under the limit or whatever it is, but I'm promoting a certain behavior. It's a sense of achrayus, right? So, like, yes, as I've become a little older and wiser with age, I recognize that any platform that a person has, you have to be aware of the achrayus that comes with it, the responsibility that's tied into any platform that you have, in any position you are.
Wow.
So I started dialing back a lot of the things I post. And then my wife...
Kudos to you, by the way, for recognizing the ones
not easy
that
also, by the way.
You have to calculate a little bit more and say, whoa, I can't promote this now.
I'll give you another example. My wife, and I give her credit for that, she's like, Mo, why do you have to post every time we go on a family vacation or anytime you go out with your kids? Like, why? It's personal. Like, why do people have to know about it? So I always felt like, well, you show personal side of you, people connect with you, it's humanizing you. That's great. But like, at the expense of my kids? At the expense of showing others where they're like, oh, this guy's a perfect family. This guy's having a great time with his kids. He's in Orlando for Pesach, Sukkot, whatever, and I'm sitting here Nebuch by my Shver's house fighting for extra macaroon. Like, why be that guy? Like, be aware of it. I go on vacations, as I mentioned. I like to travel with my friends, go with guys trips. I never post that stuff, right? Like, why? Why be the person causing somebody else anxiety or stress? I'm going to tell you this. Nobody's going to believe me. Okay, I can show you my phone. Can I pull my phone up here?
Please.
Okay. I never look at status. The status guy. Never look at status. So if I start looking at status, this is what my life would look like. Tell me when to stop when I'm done. These are all the statuses that I would have to follow. And each one of them has their greps of that day as they post. It's still going. Okay, each one of them has 10 statuses.
Their greps, you meant like
everybody's
burp out
their ideas that I have to see now, right? So I don't look at status. I
just appreciate the word greps.
I try to minimize my social media exposure for that reason. I also realize that even though I do all those things, when I don't do it and I see somebody else doing it, I'm like, I have that FOMO. Because it has my name in it, but I have FOMO, right? And it really bothers me. So like, I'm like, what do I need this for? It's unhealthy behavior, but we're doing this to people. That's like the full picture of that. Now, one other facet I want to mention, and this also changed the way I view social media. When I started doing it, there wasn't an awareness around it. People didn't feel like they were being exposed to the world. Now, you come to a party and you pull out your phone. The guy who you wanted to go to the party to meet, all he's thinking is, this is going to be on WhatsApp status. Now I have to like be conscious of how I drink or what I drink or pulling out a cigarette or whatever, even good things that we're doing. Like, I need somebody to know that I went to the musical slichas. And everybody knows that's my musical slichas now. Like, it's okay not to be there. Like, I've been to some high-end places, okay? And they encourage you to put your phone away and enjoy the experience. Like, they're like, this is an experience for you. We want you to enjoy this presentation. Please put your phone away. right? We never think about it. Like this is a whole nother conversation, but like when I go out to a restaurant, I put my phone away. I sit there in meetings with people. They can't stop scrolling, right? They're like, okay, this is a whole different world we're getting into. Like it's constant. Like I'm not even talking to my friends anymore. I heard this from Simon Sinek. I think he was saying if a person holds their phone, he was on stage saying this, right? And I'm talking to you. You're looking at me and at the phone at the same time. And you're looking at me being distracted by the phone, right? If you're at a business meeting and your phone's on the table, even if it's this way, it's down, facing down, they're thinking, okay, I'm important, but the phone's just as important. And there's a constant distraction here. It's not a one-on-one. It's like having this other guy in the audience member listening in, right? It's just a distraction. So what I started doing in meetings, I like go like this. I put my phone like far away from me, out of reach, or I put it down. Like, yes, you're important to me. I am focused in on you. So like this whole world we created, it all ties into one thing. We are so focused on projecting outwards instead of looking inwards. We're not being introspective. We're not allowing people to learn. We're focused on bumper stickers and movements instead of focusing on our own self-worth and growth. And if you focus more on that, you'll have less time for distraction. And I'm plenty distracted.
Wow, Moe freaking Rabi. I love it. You've grown. I'm just saying in general. I mean, I know you for, like I said earlier, over 10 years. You weren't this guy 10 years ago. You were very caught up in a lot of what you're saying, and you've recognized.
Or maybe you thought that I was.
Yeah, no, I know you were. It was what you're saying is so true in terms of going to there's a guy named David Lakewood. He does the statuses of people's lives, weddings.
Friend of mine.
He gets paid from people not to post their weddings.
Yeah,
and he's proud of it. And we've discussed it with him, and it's a whole other topic. I'm not going to get into it now. I invited him to come on the podcast. Maybe
he should be on the podcast.
Yeah. We'll sit there and discuss it with him. It's a wild, fascinating thing to even hear that somebody has to pay someone not to post on the status.
By the way, there are social media outlets that also bully people into paying them not to post certain things. Yeah, not going to get into those people either. That exists.
Social media outlets,
news outlets
that
will bully people.
Yeah.
By saying, if you give me this or that, I won't post a story about you or about your group or business or smiced.
Wow.
Yeah. Listen, it's a powerful tool.
Well, there's cyberbullying. This is social bullying. No, I said there is cyberbullying. This is almost like social bullying. Like
we all became members of the paparazzi. No joke, by the way. We all became members of the paparazzi.
Moe, I really
like I said, it used to be a person who was across the street from your house in the bushes with binoculars. It was a peeping Tom and a stalker.
Yeah.
And your father would run after him, hit him over the head, and maybe call the cops.
It's over.
Right? Now, that guy across the street, you go outside, you're like, it's cold outside, bro. Come inside my house. You want to know what I'm eating for dinner? Here, let me show you. You want to see the ingredients? Let me show you how I made it. When you come tomorrow, I'm going to be cooking it. I'll show you how I did it. I'll do a demonstration. Oh, can you help me for a second? Can you come to my bedroom with me? I'm not sure what I should wear tomorrow as an outfit. Can you help me? Should I pick red, blue, green? What matches what? Should we do a live poll of what you think I should wear and what goes together? Like, this is the world we created. Whereas 25 years ago, not even so long ago, 20 years or 15 years ago, this guy was a sick person. He was a peeping Tom. Now we're all peeping Toms and we're promoting it. And there's ads around it. And I'm like, please look at me.
There's a great commercial that I just saw, and we'll wrap up with this.
By the way, this guy tried wrapping up.
We'll try to wrap up with it.
I didn't allow him to wrap.
You know what? I'm actually wondering.
Two-part series.
No, we'll do it as one. I'm actually curious what the audience thinks in terms of having a one-on-one conversation like this. This is different than what we've done before. I'm curious, we'll hear it in the feedback, and I'm sure we'll get some feedback, how people enjoy this one-on-one type of. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed getting to know you.
I enjoyed it immensely.
And talk about real things that are going on in this world. It's different than having that celebrity and seeing who that person is, and we've done that a lot. To me, you're also a celebrity in terms of what you've done and being able to
call me a Jewish celebrity.
So there's a commercial where parents are walking with their children, and strangers are walking by and going to the children, "Hi, Donna. Hey, Michael," and like they know everybody. So like it's just living in that social media world, and it's very, very scary.
Bringing it back to my family, I saw my kids' reaction when, like, early on. Now they're aware of it. Like, I'd walk into a store and people refer to my kids by name, like, "Hi, Shelly, how you doing?" And Rosie, my daughter, they're like, "Do I know you?" They're normal kids. They're like, I never met this person, this stranger adult, but like they know them because I posted it on my status, and they feel like they know the person. You can go over to them and talk to them. It's like any celebrity, right? Like breaking that wall from paparazzi to like human interaction.
So what would your message be on social media in general? Sum it up. What's that message?
Can I give you a compliment first?
Please.
Okay. First off, just want to respond to the one-on-one. I found it to be very interesting and engaging. One of the things that people in sales don't recognize is a pro tip: do more listening than talking. Right. So as a podcaster, I want to give you a compliment. You're a tremendous listener. I could see you have that sales skill set that's necessary. Right. If you gather and listen and then sell to that person's needs, you'll be much more successful. And I would say in general, just in sales, people should recognize this. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about your company. Nobody cares about your brochure, your website. They care about themselves, and through themselves, outcomes for their patients, their residents, their family, their bottom line, whatever that is. Basic, just like even if you're in a service role, just quality of life. Don't care about you. So listen to them and understand what they need, and gather information and learn and adapt, and then sell to that. And they'll appreciate it and they'll buy from you. And that's the relationship factor. So as a podcaster, I found that a lot of podcasts I listen to, they're doing more talking than listening. Then why do you need me here as a guest? Am I just a seat filler? Think about that for a second.
I appreciate the compliment. I'll take it. And
You're amazing. You're amazing at what you do.
I really want to thank you for that, because I wasn't always like this, and it was difficult for me to transition to this. The cameras, the lights, it sort of bothers me.
Crushing it.
It's hard for me to be more as my genuine self. But having someone as genuine as you, it makes it easier. So I definitely appreciate
Complimenting also works in sales, guys. Sorry, the golf. By the way, complimenting also fine line. If you over compliment somebody, they know you're full of it.
Of course.
So like I know that I'm very genuine. So I appreciate that compliment.
You're amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
You have any questions?
I love you too.
You have any questions?
Your glasses are fire.
Thank you.
You're crushing it. Do you really? Yeah. I love. By the way, I have a whole glasses collection. We didn't even get into that. You should. By the way, I'll have a fashion.
What about my glasses? You like these? Are they
okay? A little better. By the way, if you're also honest in your confidence,
you know what?
People will then take it serious.
Can I take you with me to a glasses store after we're done here, if you have time?
I have family members that don't buy their kids' glasses until I FaceTime with them. I have friends in different cities that send me pictures before they buy glasses.
All right, so I want to.
And I've gone personal shopping.
I want you to pick the next 4 glasses that I would wear on this podcast. The next 4 glasses. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go, and you'll pick 4 glasses.
I have a much better idea.
And we'll get it sponsored by an
I have a much better idea. I have a friend, Shirley Hochman.
Yeah.
He's called My Glasses Guy.
Yeah, he's not going to want to sponsor his expensive
He comes to your
I get it.
place of business.
Yeah.
He'll pick out glasses with you, help you out for yourself for a steep discount, I'm sure, to be featured on your podcast. Why would you do it?
Potentially. I don't know if I'm holding there.
At a co-market.
To me, I just want to go to my local store in Muncie and pick out a couple and see how that works. You're saying go to the next level. I'm not sure if I'm ready for that.
My next level, the guy comes to you.
Sure, I know, but then I have to
You see, come on.
Yeah. I guess I have to move to Lakewood.
So going back to what Jimmy J said, is you fake it until you make it.
Yeah.
That's part of it. It's more of a mindset than no, you are a podcast.
All right, so you'll help me pick the next.
First of all, you're very, very reputable podcast. You had Moe Rabi on your podcast. You finally made it. Okay. So you definitely, at this point, you can start promoting yourself.
Do you have any questions for me?
I want to answer your question about healthcare.
Oh.
What do you ask?
The message?
Yeah, what's the message? I thought we did this already.
You did. No, you said the message. You said.
No, you just asked
you're asking me?
No, you asked me before a question. I went back to this.
Oh, social media. You asked me the message was for social
media. Your message on social media. That's what I asked you. What is your ultimate message on social media? Exactly. Thank you, Stefan.
I think I said it in different words.
Yeah, just summarize it in one sentence.
My message for social media is recognize who you are, be present in who you are, be genuine in how you convey that message. And don't try to be somebody or not, or a company or not, or try to mimic somebody else's behavior or presence online, because we all see through it. It's so obvious. And it's no different than when you meet somebody in person and you wouldn't fake it and think they're gonna fall for it. Just try to be authentic. Online is no different. It should be the same. There's nothing wrong. I want to clarify a point, okay? The person you are on a first date and the person you are 6 months into marriage and 5 years into marriage, or on job interview or in shul or on vacation, you're the same person. You're not pretending to be somebody else because you came to a job interview dressed with a suit or a jacket or whatever we've regressed or progressed into, right? That's who you are in that moment. right? It's if you pretend to be that person constantly and never find that the other person that left the job interview, we have an issue with that, right? So social media, there's nothing wrong if you make sure your post is clean and normal and you have a person that curates it before you send it out. That's great, but you can't lose authenticity and the sense of self. People do that a lot on social media.
Okay, love it. Back to the opportunity of wrapping it up. We'll take another opportunity.
We have all day. You weren't expecting that.
Any questions that you have for me?
Any questions I have for you?
Yeah.
I've heard you speak many different times about affecting change in Klal Yisrael, and you do a lot through music and a lot through some of the things you're very passionate about. I'm curious when that started. Is that something you grew into? Is that like naturally who you are? What's the origin there?
It's a great question. I would give all the credit to my dad. I grew up in an environment where he was just busy helping people, and he was just known as that person who just loved helping people, and I just have a natural inclination for loving to help people.
Okay.
And what I've learned over the years is how to, extract other people's talents and put that to work. And I looked in the mirror and I did that to myself. How can I, and my brother taught this to me a long time ago, shout out to David Greenfield, who taught me this concept. He said that you can be busy picking up the person that falls on the crack on the street and then help him get up, or you can be busy fixing the crack on the street. Which person do you want to be? And he made me realize years ago that I want to be the person that's fixing the crack on that street. And it's also very difficult.
Meaning ensuring that others don't fall.
Exactly.
Afterwards.
Exactly. Just, prevention of challenges, which is why I'm very passionate about career guidance. And like you said, I do this all the time in terms of trying to figure out where that person's talent is and helping them be a better contributor to society by maximizing their talents. So it started with my dad, and it's just something that I've learned over the years. I've said this on one of my first podcasts, actually, that one of the wealthiest people I met when I was like 19 years old, I was so excited to meet him. And he said to me, you want to hang around, you want to be rich? You hang around rich people, he told me. And I walked away thinking, I want to be happy. I think I'm going to hang around happy people. And that's really what transformed my life from that very young age of recognizing that, but seeing it from my dad. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
My rabbi, like 4 hours ago, called me.
Who's your rabbi?
I don't want to say. Rav Zalman Sorotskin.
I was going to say, you can say none of your business. Okay.
That one moment. No, I'm happy to say who he is. It's just weird to say this out loud. He gave me a compliment, so that's why I'm not used to talking about myself.
Oh, okay.
3 hours in that podcast.
I was gonna say, okay, that's news to me. Yeah.
By the way, I missed a very important.
Please go before we end.
Yeah. No, it's an important nugget that I wanted to just fill a gap here.
Please.
The reason why I went into this whole Devar Torah about Moshe Rabbeinu.
Yeah.
Right. It was springboarded off the idea of me being a head counselor. So what I wanted to say then, I'll say now, is that when I was actually thrust into the spotlight and I finally earned the credence or the covet or whatever that was to be a head counselor, now I'm on stage, because I was in that space, I ended up dialing it back more. I was much more conscious of how I communicated and delegated and worked with my counselors and the team and interacted. I was like, now that I actually made it, I need to be more present in it and appreciative, and also be more humble about it. Because now I'm not faking it anymore. I'm here, and I want to make people feel good about what they're doing. I don't want to be the guy on the top speaking down to others on some pyramid, right? I feel like people lose that. They all climb to get to the top of the ladder, but then they forget who got them there and all the rungs that got you there, right? So that's part of building that in team culture. That's so focused on spending money in team culture and delegation. If you're in a C-level, any level position, whatever you are, people don't spend enough time reminding themselves how they got there, and they just at a certain point they take themselves too seriously because of it.
Well said. So what did your rabbi say?
You're just referring to quality of life. He said, well, he actually called me to help somebody get into yeshiva, see if I could help them. So that's another thing we could all do, is help others. And I've been on the other side of it. So that's something, another tidbit. A guy recently gave me a compliment. He's like, he was in customer service. He's like, I really appreciate how you communicated around the issue that was on his end, and how I responded to him and spoke it through with him. And I was just very receptive and gracious, as I tried to be, to make him feel good about the mistake that he made. And he thanked me. And I said, truth is, I'm in that world. Like I'm in business development, sales, customer service. Like, so I've been on the other side of it when it wasn't my fault or was my fault. And I know how to deal with it. So I try to always be present and remind myself of that. Right. I feel like we don't do that enough. Where am I going?
Your rabbi. So the rabbi told you.
No, so the yeshiva thing, I've been on the other side of it too.
Yeah.
And like, that's why I try to be more like helpful if I can be. And
Yeah.
again, job search, same thing. You also have to ask somebody to give you a job. So like, why do you forget about that the second you have your own job? This goes back to your boy Stefan here. We lose sight of quality of life and like why we're doing it and what makes us happy. And the reason we started in this industry, or the reason we started doing anything we started to do because we got distracted. And like now it's just about the money. It's not about quality of life because we're not focused on it anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I will take quality of life over money any day. Like quality of life could be anything. Quality of life doesn't have to be money. Spending time with your kids, your family, the shul you daven in. Why are we living lives that we're miserable? That's the Ivdus Hashem B'Simcha that I'm saying, I'm referring to.
Full circle.
Everything's full circle. It's one Torah over here.
Beautiful.
One Torah.
Beautiful. That brings us to a real true wrap. But before we end, we always ask our guys. I say we always ask our guests, who would you think would be a good guest
on camera? Because I don't know.
I think so. If you started a podcast tomorrow, who'd be your first guest?
Michael Greenfield.
I'd come on.
Would you?
But
I want to call AY. I think AY is.
Who's that?
AY.
AY Gruskin?
Yeah.
AY. Wow.
Like
the
AY.
Bodybuilder himself?
He's not just a bodybuilder. I think you'd be surprised.
No. He's a builder in general.
He's a builder.
Bodybuilder, mental builder.
AY Gruskin is somebody that has grown tremendously in this industry.
I think
he's
in general.
He's a person that cares about others. He's a master networker. He's got a personality, a smile. If you ask him about his tagline, you ask him, how you doing? He said, always good, always good. He has no bumper stickers. He also started an organization that I'll talk to you about for his father, who has Parkinson's. He had a massive volleyball event that he did as a fundraiser. And he just doesn't stop, this kid. He's hustling. He's a good person. He lives life to the fullest. He's always trying to find things to make other people happy through it.
Ask him.
I want him on your podcast. I think the world needs
video call him for
questions. Will answer me or not. I did not prep him, by the way.
That's better.
Do we have to show the camera?
No, it's okay. People can hear.
Let's show this right now on camera. Anyway, how you doing right now?
I'm blessed. How about you?
You see that?
I can't see you speak to.
I'm here with Michael Greenfield, Mr. Prime Source himself. I'm on the None Your Business podcast, and he wants me to invite a guest. Camera. Will you join us on the None Your Business podcast as one of our esteemed guests?
Are you going to be the co-host?
Ooh, see, this is what happens.
You gotta be.
You know,
I think it's a way to pay it forward. In other words, just come on. And
we're going to think about it. We're going to process that. We're going to put our best people on it. We're going to get back to you in a formal email on a chain that will include 4 people BCC'd and CCC'd. And then we'll send you a calendar invite with the Teams and Zoom meeting.
Turn them around. What's
Michael,
up?
Michael, I want to do it. I'm ready to do it, but I want like a round table. Like Yessi, I want you to bring back Yessi, Moe, and I'll join.
Like the greatest hits. King Arthur's table.
Yeah.
All right, we're in.
I want a round table. I don't want to do like a...
Listen to me. You're getting invited to this podcast. You don't get to dictate anything, okay? You're going to show up, look pretty, and you're going to do what we tell you to do. And if we decide to do a round table, we'll do a round table. You're not in charge here. I am the captain now.
Okay, let's get it done. AY, love you. Looking forward, bro.
Love you.
I'm curious about the whole white shirt thing in Lakewood in terms of being accepted into a school or shul or even allowed to walk into the supermarket. Like, how does it work?
Okay, so like you're allowed to walk into the supermarket? You think they have shirt police?
I don't know. I mean, you mentioned earlier you have to conform, and this is the process, the way we had from the olden days, and I don't know. Where's it up to?
So again, going back to the beginning, we're starting over again. There is a community. There are certain social norms that have been set. There's the yeshiva world BMJ was founded on the ideals of a yeshiva, being a ben Torah, and Lakewood really, that is what Lakewood grew from, right? And then other people came in from other communities, and it's become somewhat of a challah, right? So in order to safeguard certain communities or sects of our community, they have made schools to be a little more in the box, right? They don't want others, and like it's going back to what we discussed, right? But if you embrace that and you recognize where you are and how you are part of a community and which part you fit into, or you're part of different schools that are a little more open-minded, you could live a very healthy life. If you're one of those people that are constantly trying to find yourself and push back and like you've hate in your heart towards the other people, so to speak, that are different than you or that you think are judging you, you're never going to be at peace with yourself, right? So
Practically speaking,
if
you're not wearing a white
shirt, certain schools wouldn't even give you
an interview. Right.
Surprisingly, the more established schools, let's go into internet for a second, right? The schools that are still trying to find themselves and they market themselves a certain way, they're the ones making you sign waivers that you don't have internet.
Anything, right.
They usually email it to you or give you an online waiver to check off that you don't have internet, okay? Now, the more established schools, they never even make you sign a waiver because they're established. So like the out-of-town community I referred to, like it's not a thing. There's no Bechira point. They're not pushing back, right? Then there's the in-betweens. It's like understanding that don't push yourself into a school that you don't belong in because you decided you want to be a social climber or a society climber and be part of this part of the community, but you're not really embracing what they expect from you as a community, right? So just come to terms with it, and then you'll be a happy person and you'll be relatable and you'll find your place. People are not doing that. I'm telling you, people are constantly fighting the norm because they convince themselves there's something they're not. Now, if you're a person that recognizes that fully and you're at peace with who you are, you'll be given more liberties because people are recognized. Like I said, they'll recognize this guy's legit. He doesn't care so much. Doesn't take himself that seriously. So what? So he wears colorful socks. He has the platform shoes. Oh, I get all the lines. Trying to make himself look taller. Like, yeah, maybe sometimes. You don't need to worry that much what people think about you if you don't think that highly of yourself. Not that you don't have confidence, but you don't take yourself too seriously, right? So yeah, I get away with doing things or saying things that others wouldn't because it's like, oh, it's Moe Rabi. Like, yeah, we know. Like, we know he is. Like, we already know he is. So of course, he could say something like that. He's like, we all have that uncle that says stupid things by Simchas. You just laugh. You're like, that's a crazy uncle.
Mo, this has been great. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing all your thoughts with us. The ones that you were oops, and that it came out, and you grepsed it out really nicely.
Oh, I didn't tell you one more thing though.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're still rolling.
Yes, go ahead.
No, I just you trying to wrap up.
Say it.
No, I wanted to say through my status on my social media platform, I have gone on these types of rants.
Yeah.
That sort of tie into this.
Good. So all the rants
people
will end
know
up here.
this.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised. I got a lot of positive feedback. People that look at it like, thank you for voicing these opinions out loud.
Good.
Like the things people are afraid to say out loud.
Good. Let's continue on that journey.
Thank you, Hashem!
Thank you to all the subscribers, the listeners, the feedback. Thank you to the Prime Source production team. We love you all.
Subscribe.
Subscribe. Like.
Right there.
Comment.
Like, comment, engage.
Exactly. That's a wrap. All right.
Love you all.
Miss you.